for the show tomorrow.
Then what are you going to do?
I'm going to go and do some stuff over the road there.
What? Have a breakfast?
No. I'm going to do a wee gym class.
Oh, very good. Okay, how long does that last?
Did you not know my physique? 5 minutes. No. About 45 minutes.
And what do you focus on? Cardio, upper body, lower body?
Just the six pack, it's all about the six pack. No, it's cardio, a bit of everything. Do you know what No, I don't run, no.
So you lift weights?
Wee bit, Si.
Are you self-motivated? Is it part of a class?
It's just part of a class. Good gang over there. We have the great old banter. It's the same old heads every day. A bit of slagging. Do you know?
Yeah.
Tunes are banging out. We can still hear you scowling away in the radio.
They hardly have me on in the gym now.
No, they don't know.
I was going to say.
I pretend, right? But yeah, it's good. Do you know?
And how many days a week do you do that?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
3 days a week. Well done.
Yeah, I got a wee sticker. This is so silly, right? Well, it's not so silly, right? They introduced this new thing, right? And it's that silly. It works, right? So if you manage to do 12 in a month, right?
12 classes.
12 classes. That's 3 every week, right? They give you a sticker.
Aww.
Like, I got a sticker handed to me last week. I stuck it onto my computer.
And did you show Mummy?
No, I didn't show Mummy.
You said, Mummy, I got a sticker in class.
No, unless I take the computer to Mummy. That's not going to happen.
Well, you could take a picture.
I could take a picture, but I'm working towards me next sticker. There's a big man like me now working. Do you know, like stickers at school? You get
don't worry. We've got the school. We got the school reference.
Yeah, so I'm working towards me next sticker.
Oh, you're a big
And I didn't
boy.
want to miss the class the other day because I'll not get my sticker.
There's no monetary value to these.
No, just a
Doesn't pay
sticker.
the mortgage or
Just a
nothing.
wee sticker.
Okay, cool.
I want to stick it on my computer.
I wish you'd get you wee stickers for your job here. Maybe you might.
Would you give me a wee sticker, would you?
for
I'm
sure.
easy, please. Just a wee simple sticker.
Right, you better go on then and
That's my motivation.
get yourself all hot and
Dollied
bothered.
up.
Hopefully
All right.
you win your sticker. You deserve it, good.
Thanks very much, Dad.
All right, take care of yourself. It is the 9 till noon show, and at 9 o'clock, let's get a news update. And it's over to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Strabane businesses have been alerted to a recent surge in counterfeit banknotes circulating in the town. Strabane BID issued a warning after receiving multiple reports from local vendors. Raymond Barr, a pub owner in Strabane, noted that this type of crime often increases during the holiday season. Councillor Barr advised businesses to use UV scanners to detect fraudulent notes.
I haven't been affected as yet myself. I've heard plenty of people talking about it. Unfortunately, this is the time of the year for it. I have a pub in Strabane myself, and unfortunately, the hospitality business would be one of the main targets this time of the year, given the position the pubs are and the restaurants.
What can business owners do to be vigilant on it?
Can of course scan the notes. If you haven't got one of those, I would advise people to get one.
The Oireachtas Committee on Drug Use has recommended introducing cannabis legislation in an extremely limited way. It's suggesting people should be allowed to buy small amounts of the drug in cannabis clubs. These clubs have already been introduced in countries like Spain. Chair of the committee, TD Gino Kelly, feels it would be safer.
The illicit drugs market is largely controlled by the black market. In terms of cannabis, that's what's essentially what's happening at this moment in time. There's no regulations whatsoever. So when people are consuming cannabis, they do not know what they're consuming.
Specialist Gardaí are resuming excavations this morning at the former family home of Kyron Durnan in County Louth. The 8-year-old boy is missing, presumed dead, and a murder investigation is underway. A house, garden and adjoining land in Dundalk is being forensically examined. It was known to have been Kyron's family home until May of this year. Chief reporter Barry White says new tenants who have nothing to do with the case recently moved in.
Renovation work and a deep clean was carried out when new tenants moved into this property a number of months ago. One neighbour actually told me yesterday that early in the summer, around June, there was a massive skip placed outside the house and it was filled with rubbish bags as the house was emptied before new tenants moved in. Now that work may frustrate the search for forensic evidence inside the property.
For weather now largely dry this morning but perhaps a little cloudy. Some early spells of sunshine will be limited as more cloud builds later. Southerly breezes will freshen a little this afternoon with highest temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees. That's all for now from Highland Radio News. We'll be back again with more at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're good mates, yeah. Look, I'm always there for him, 100%, through thick and thin. And sure, he likes having me around. anytime he's going out, I'll get the shout, you know? And someday, I'll probably kill him.
Smoking isn't the friend you think it is. Quit for 28 days and start taking back control. Find out how at quit.ie or free phone 1800 201 203 from the HSE.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. It is 3 minutes past 9, fast approaching 4 minutes past 9 on this Wednesday. It is the 23rd of October. I hope you're all very well indeed. Great to have you on board for another 3 hours and throughout the day here, of course, on your number one local radio station, Highland Radio. And we've our usual mix of topics, hopefully, that will keep you engaged, informed and entertained. And we want you involved in that conversation as it wears on. 086 60 25,000, WhatsApps and texts to that number. You can send your voice notes to that number as well. 086 60 25,000. If you want to give us a call, Caroline and Shannon taking your calls on 07491 25,000. And if email is your preferred form of communication, well, we're there as well, aren't we? Comments at highlandradio.com. Good morning to Charlie and Mike, two regular viewers of the show. You can watch as well on your smart TV, your Fire Stick, on the YouTube app, Highland Radio Ireland. Give us a like and a subscribe there if you don't mind. And also on Facebook, Highland Radio News, Sport and Obituaries, or Highland Hub, and on X at Highland Radio Ireland. And just to remind you, in case you aren't aware, that the Facebook page, Highland Radio News, Sport and Obituaries, has been enhanced, which means that we now post your obituary notices to that Facebook page as well. So it's your one-stop shop for everything Donegal in terms of news, sport, and of course that important information, obituary notices, which has created an opportunity actually for people to pay their respects and leave comments, which I read from time to time, and it's just another way maybe that you can express your sympathies. So that's the Facebook page, Highland Radio News, Sport and Obituaries, if you wish to give that a follow. Let's go to the newspapers this morning. And 8.9 million social housing project to begin in Castlefin. That's the Finn Valley Voice headline. And this is a little bit blurred on me because I don't have the physical copy just yet. But Castlefin is set to see a major social housing development as the Habeneg Housing, I probably have that wrong, that's the bit that's smudged, Housing Association has officially signed a contract for the construction of 32 new homes in the town. The project, worth 8.9 million, aims to address the pressing need for affordable housing in the region. On to the nationals now, and I know many of you are following this awful story surrounding a missing child presumed dead, Kyron Durnan. It's just a story I can't. I keep following just to because it feels so personal, I suppose, when you've had children, and not even if you haven't had children. The poor soul. The search of the former family home of missing schoolboy Kyron Durnan, just 8, by detectives investigating his suspected murder, is expected to resume this morning, and indeed it has. The house on Emer Terrace in Dundalk, where new tenants unconnected to the investigation now live, was taken into possession of Gardaí after they were granted an order by the district court. Gardaí arrived early yesterday and spent the day searching the house as well as the garden and adjoining ground in the house. The garden was excavated using a mini digger. Last week, An Garda Síochána confirmed they had launched a murder investigation. The Child and Family Agency Tusla has also revealed that in August, which is just a couple of months ago, it had raised a significant concern about Kyron to Gardaí. We can confirm that whilst Kyron was not in the care of Tusla, our services had engaged with both he and his family, Tusla said. In August 2024, we alerted An Garda Síochána in relation to a significant concern about Kyron. Now, I don't understand the timeline of this because obviously Kyron has been missing for 2 years. So what happened in August? What happened in August that made Tusla so concerned as to contact Gardaí? But they go on to say in their statement, since August, we have continued to assist and work closely with the Gardaí and in line with normal practice. All relevant information has been shared. We can also confirm that as appropriate, a notification has been sent to the National Review Panel, whose responsibility is to independently review cases of serious instances involving children in care unknown to Tusla. Tusla also said it has commenced an internal review to look at its engagement and interactions with Kyron and his family. But again, the 2 years had passed. What happened in the intervening amount of time, and what happened in August 2024 that Tusla was so concerned as to contacting Garda Síochána, that would be interesting and important information, I think. Sinn Féin looking to draw a line over recent controversies. This is in the Irish Times. There was a statement yesterday in the Dáil by the party's leader, Mary Lou McDonald. She corrected the record of the Dáil about the age of the young person who received inappropriate texts from former Senator Niall O'Donnell. Ms MacDonald also told the House that she had written to the young person and their mother offering a full, unequivocal and sincere apology for the statement she issued when the former senator resigned and for the hurt my words caused, quote. Now, the statement lauded the senator and praised his contribution and what have you. And initially the response to that, and it was had on this show, was that, that was all right, kind of. It was okay, but now there's been a full apology for that. In a statement to the Dáil, Ms MacDonald said, the information which I placed on the Dáil record last week relating to an incident where a Sinn Féin representative sent inappropriate text messages to a young person, it was then my understanding that the young person was 17 years of age because of the information provided on his application form when he applied to join Ógra Sinn Féin. That information was wrong. The young person themselves had made clear that he was in fact 16 at the time, so I want to correct the Dáil record to reflect that he was in fact 16 years of age when these texts were sent. What's a fully grown adult sending texts to a teenager for, let alone inappropriate texts? But they've written to apologise as well. Now, back to government controversy, and this surrounds the modular homes for Ukrainians. This is in the Irish Daily Mail. Concerns about the financial viability of modular homes for Ukrainian refugees were raised with senior government officials, but the state still instructed the Under Fire Office of Public Works to proceed with the project. Now, this is important information from the OPW because much of the early conversation on this was, well, what's the OPW at? Why weren't they sort of making sure that the costs didn't overrun as they did, and why did they spend this money, and so on and so forth? Well, it turns out that they did raise the concerns with the government or government officials, and they were told to carry on. Last month, just to recap, the Controller and Auditor General, the state spending watchdog, revealed the cost per unit of over 600 modular homes had risen from an initial estimate of 200 grand to around 442,000. That's a 121% uplift. Well, officials from the OPW yesterday appeared in front of the Public Accounts Committee to defend the cost of the units. In its opening statement, John Conlon, the new chair of the OPW, said the cost of the modular homes project was the equivalent of providing rooms in hotels for 5 years. He said, by any assessment, it's better to have this new state asset than to be renting hotel rooms for 5 years. This state asset will be available for another 55 years. And OPW officials confirmed that the cost per unit of the modular units was around 150 grand, with the average cost rising overall to 442 euro per unit when servicing of the sites was included. That's crazy. I'm sure there's many contractors out there could fully service a site for less than 300 grand. You'd hope you could anyway. The Sun this morning. Advocacy groups fear promises to end the wait list surgery nightmare for children will not be kept. Minister for Health Stephen Donnelly revealed 264 children are waiting for spinal operations. They're suffering with conditions such as scoliosis and spina bifida. And 138 of them are currently left in limbo on the active list, ready to go, but with no date for their op. The Irish Sun's Kids Can't Wait campaign aims to end the waiting lists for children's injuries. Not sure how successful it's been. And yesterday, Minister Donnelly told the Cabinet significant progress has been made, with the number of children waiting longer than 4 months for surgery forecast to drop from 86 down to 20 by the end of 2024. But advocacy groups have said, we'll see. We'll see. And hopefully the government pulls through on that one for those children. The Irish Daily Mirror, a prison officer told the trial of a transgender woman, and just to be clear, because you can't read it or see the images yourself, in this case, the transgender woman would have been born a biological male and transitioned to a woman. A prison officer told the trial of a transgender woman that he heard her threaten to rape and kill a fellow inmate last year. Prison officer Aidan O'Meara, based at Limerick Jail, said he learned the accused, Barbie Kardashian, threatened to rape and kill Tegan McGee on February 25th, 2023. The officer alleged she, Barbie Kardashian, threatened to kill Tegan, and she threatened to rape her with an implement and leave her in such a way that she could not have children. I've no doubt the threat was made with malice and forethought, he told Miss Kardashian's trial at Limerick Circuit Criminal Court. Continuing to direct the evidence to the court, Officer O'Meara said Kardashian later confirmed to him she had meant the threat. Officer O'Meara said Kardashian told him, "Yes, I did say that, I meant it, and if I get a chance I will carry it out. She deserves to be punished," which is just and this is a familiar image for those of you watching of Ms. Kardashian. But it's interesting that someone can be born a male, as Ms. Kardashian was, and they can transition to a woman, call themselves, and I'm sure it's not their real name, Barbie Kardashian, be put into a women's prison, and then go through the courts and be referred to as such and all that kind of stuff. On to finally now the Irish Daily Star, and the opposition has branded Social Protection Minister Heather Humphreys' bid to double the fine for those who are long-term unemployed as Thatcherite. The social welfare bill will be discussed in the Shannon this week to give effect to changes announced in Budget 25. This will include a provision to increase the amount that a person's weekly social welfare rate can be docked from €44 to €90 if they will not engage with social protection services. Now, there might be many reasons as to why they don't engage with social protection services, but if you are on a relatively low income, it is a low income by any measure, I suppose. If you're on social welfare, I'm not quite sure of the exact rate. What is it, $270 at the moment? But a €90 cut could leave someone in a very bad situation. I asked you yesterday what you thought about this. Do you think if someone is long-term unemployed and not engaging with social protection services, then it is correct to dock £90 a week? Or do you think that is too much of a stick and perhaps a carrot approach might be tried first? Well, since 2011, any job seeker who refuses to engage with the state's employment services may have their rates reduced. The €90 reduction will come into effect from January 2025. So, as I say, if you're motivated about that, let us know. Now, yesterday we were chatting to John McAteer, and I'd scribbled out a provisional list of election candidates, which for the most part was correct. But I do want to actually just make one correction in relation to that. I'll run through the candidates actually in case you weren't listening this time yesterday. Of course, Fine Gael are running Nicky Bradley and John McNulty. Fianna Fáil, Charla McConnell, Pat the Cope. Aontú are running Mary T. Sweeney, Sinn Féin, Pierce Doherty and Pádraig McLaughlin. Now, Eamon McGee is running for the Irish Freedom Party. And I sort of grouped some people under a list, as I say, just written out quickly. So just to be clear, Jerry McKeever, who I mentioned yesterday as well, he's running as an independent, completely under his own steam, under no umbrella, as is Thomas Pringle, and there are other parties as well. The Irish People National Alliance, that's who Kim McMenamin is running for. And Charles Ward is running for the 100% Redress Party. All right, so just to clarify that, so that everyone knows the runners and riders and which horses they're on, I suppose you could say.
Daily newspapers are courtesy of Cosgrove, Centra and Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny. The 9 till noon show with Sony Centre, Letterkenny, Ireland's only Sony store, offering the best deals guaranteed. TVs, soundbars, headphones, cameras, party speakers and much more. Shop in-store or online at sonycentre.ie.
Shop fashion, home and beauty all under one roof at McElhenney's today. Stocking hundreds of your favourite occasion wear, designer and high street brands, including Tommy Hilfiger, Jerry Weber, Barber, Gant, Columbia, Christina Felix, Kevin John, Vero Moda and Michael Kors, as well as the most sought after beauty brands. Shop in store or online at mcelhenneys.com.
Virgin Media customers, make the right call with our exclusive mobile offers. Like our multi-SIM plan with unlimited data, calls and texts for just €15 a month per person, all on a 30-day contract. Switch today at virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media, it's playtime.
Customer unlimited multi-SIM €15 per month while Virgin Media broadband and or TV is active. Applies to a maximum of 6 mobile subscriptions. For T's and C's, see virginmobile.ie.
Atlantic Travel is ready to book your cruise. Book early to secure the best price and best available cabins, including those limited family suites. See and sail the Greek Isles, cultural cities of Italy and the Croatian coastline, or venture further afield to Asia and Japan, or an Alaskan adventure. Spread the cost with payment plans. Atlantic Travel Letterkenny, the cruise experts, having sailed extensively with all major cruise lines.
Easy Living Furniture's massive Oktoberfest sale has been extended but must end this Sunday. Everything's reduced, including sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses and accessories. Visit us at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry, or online at easylivingfurniture.co.uk.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Easy Living has it all. Easy Living Furniture. Luxury furnishings, affordable luxury.
For an efficient, mild hybrid system that doesn't compromise on the joy of driving, test drive the Mazda CX-30. This compact, stylish SUV comes with fuel-saving Mazda M hybrid technology and a 6-year warranty. Test drive the 251 Mazda range at McGinley Motors, Letterkenny. Mazda, crafted in Japan.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time is approaching 20 minutes past 9 now. Just been contacted by a listener. If you're on the Frosses to Glenties Road, exercise a wee bit of caution there. A lorry has gone off the road, so it seems to be approaching the brow of a hill. So if you're on the Frosses to Glenties Road, keep an eye out, because I presume there's going to have to be cranes and what have you involved to remove that. Right. Finbar Breslin is chair of Kincastle Rowing Club. How are you getting on, Finbar?
Good morning, Greg. I'm getting on very well, thank you.
Right, okay, so the fallout really is just coming to light from Storm Ashley. For the most part, you know, damage was to a minimum, but where it did hit, it hit hard. And it hit your facilities hard, Finbar.
It did, Greg. Like, we've seen the worst of nature in Storm Ashley, but I have to say we're seeing the best of humanity, Greg, and the support that's been pouring in for Kincastle Rowing Club. And thank you for inviting us on air this morning to share this story and this appeal.
I'm sure your rowing club is like others as well, that it takes an awful lot of, you know, gathering up and fundraising and volunteerism. Firstly, you know, to get the equipment that's there, to get a facility to store that equipment, and to sort of keep an interest going. A lot of these rowing clubs are very, very deeply rooted in the community, Finbar. I'd say yours is not an exception.
No exception, and not just like a rowing club. Like all sports clubs, we struggle with funding to get everything from just kit to keeping the lights on and paying insurance. But then in rowing in particular, this particular sport of rowing, it's got a long history in Ireland, from the skiff rowing and curl rowing, and we're in a new direction, which is it's becoming an Olympic sport in Los Angeles in 2028. So this coastal rowing, so it's relatively new since 2028. So we're continually pushing to get more members, more rowers, and the members we have, everybody's pushed at the seams. And yeah, it's heartbreaking when our cabin, which is it's more than just a cabin. It's our refuge. It's where people come to train and shelter, and it's in tatters. So it is heartbreaking, but it's the community spirit that's come back from. We set up a funding page, and there's £1,200 has come in so far, from as far away as Utah and all around the world. So the support is incredible, Craig, so far.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the cabin had many years of service left in it, I'm sure, but it looks like it had served you well. It is destroyed, I'd imagine, beyond repair. What's the target for a replacement to, allow a replacement to be purchased and placed on site, and to keep the heart beating in the chest of the club?
Yeah, so like a lot of sports clubs around the country, everyone has all sorts of cabins and containers and disused truck trailers to store equipment. But this cabin in particular was, I think they called them welfare cabins. They're like those cabins that you would see on construction sites or schools, like prefabs. So like they're insulated and they have windows and they have a proper door and facilities inside as opposed to just a shipping container. So that's what I'd say. Their replacement value, I think, the 15 to 20,000, which as a club we wouldn't have that money to even go and buy one. That the one we had was a donation many years ago. So it's with that I thought when I was on the pier, Craig, on Monday, picking up bits of glass and debris and looking at it, heartbroken. I thought, oh, how can we replace this? And you often hear stories of when something goes on social media and gets traction that somebody somewhere is listening that might help, or even a lot of people helping a little helps a lot.
Yes, of course.
But my appeal was mainly because I know from the HSE and COVID testing companies that all around the country, not just this country, but every country, there's been many cabins that I'm sure many of us never want to see them again, where we had to have things stuck in our nose to be tested a few years ago. But those cabins are sitting at places. They've made their money. They're of no value to lots of people, and they're of little use. So not just when I'm putting this appeal out for our club, we desperately need one right now. But I would nearly extend my appeal for every club in the country that everybody needs cabins and containers that they can't afford to get.
Yeah,
and there's many of these cabins. There's many of these cabins sitting in hospitals around the country that were once used for COVID testing and not been used. But without getting in trouble now with hospitals saying they need them for something else, I'm sure there's some somewhere.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't fancy cutting through the HSC red tape to get one. To be honest with you, I think. And listen, you never know when the appeal's out there, but there are other builders or construction companies or what have you, that would have them. They often have them on projects, and when the project's finished, they often just sit there. Okay,
So,
well, listen, someone could make a very, very big difference, not just to a club, but to a community. And if anyone also wants to donate to the fundraiser, you know yourself with these URLs that can be quite long and hard to read out, Finbar. Is there a Facebook page or something? Most people are on Facebook that people can go and click the link.
Yes, correct. We have a Facebook page, Kincastle Rowing Club. We have an Instagram page. There is a donate function on those. It's a Stripe account. It's secure. So far, we're overwhelmed with the support so far. As I've mentioned, someone from Utah. Thank you, Utah. The UK, Sweden, Australia. There's donations coming in from all around, and locally we've got overwhelmed by the local support from locally. And I have to put a thank out because one of the first people that contacted me was Paddy Sharkey from Sharkey's Waste, the local waste management company here, and he's kindly offered to come and take the cabin away and dispose of it, and that's like that in itself would save us hundreds of pounds.
Yes. And I must mention before you go, it has been a roller coaster couple of weeks because there was a remarkable achievement by your ladies quad crew recently, and we're talking about a small but very active and passionate club in the far-flung wests of Ireland. And produced a team that had an amazing result. Just quickly run us through that, Finbar, because it's very much worth recognising, I think.
Craig, it's incredibly worth recognising. So we've a ladies quad crew, and Donegal lady on that, Niamh Dugan, and some of other rowers from down the country that are river rowers. It's a different discipline than our coastal boats. But as this sport is growing, the World Championships were recently in Genoa in Italy, and there's 1,000 people there, 300 athletes from all around the world. Most of those athletes, Craig, are Olympians. So the USA, Switzerland, Germany, Sweden, Britain, most of the rowers in those teams are Olympians. And this particular race had our quad crew, and it's testament to our girls' training, but it's also the environment we have to train in, the coastal area in Donegal. It's the wild sea and the swells, seamanship. We had a fantastic coxswain, Cian Sweeney, who's a rower from Loafers Point. His coxing and racing ability on that day was outstanding because he outmaneuvered boats that had Olympians. And I think in Cian's words, we were 2 or 3 strokes away from actually the 3rd place in the bronze medal. But to still, for our amateur rowers to come forth in a field with Olympic medalists from Paris is incredible. And we're incredibly proud.
I probably attributed all of it to the listener, to the Kincastle Rowing Club, but it's part of the wider rowing community. Okay, listen, Finbar, thank you very much for your time. People can go to Kincastle Rowing Club for more information if they wish to donate there as well. And that appeal is out there. You know, maybe you are a construction company and there is a unit sitting on site or back at the yard that's no longer fit for purpose that could very much benefit Kincastle Rowing Club, who were devastated and are devastated by the loss of a building, a little portable building that I presume holds so many fine memories. Finbar, thank you for your time. Finbar Breslin, chair of Kincastle Rowing Club. What's wrong with the traffic in Letterkenny, asks the listener. This is not the first time this has been mentioned to me in that, and this almost post-dates, I think, the changes to the Polestar roundabout. It seemed to be at some point traffic got really, really bad. I'm not sure if it was a return to school or what have you. It seems to be all times of the day. And I noted yesterday the traffic was really, really bad driving down Letterkenny Main Street, but still there was plenty of parking spaces. So why is it so busy? If people, where are people going or where's the traffic coming from? A caller asks, maybe you have the answer out there. I certainly don't off the top of my head. A caller says, please God, Trump will be elected again come November. Make America great again, 25. The far right are just an opinion. It is made out they're bad, but they're just opinionated and trying to do something as a result of our government's. Sorry, this is two separate. This is two separate messages. Make America, that's great for America. What about us though? And this separate comment, the far right are just an opinion. It's made out that they are bad, but they are just opinionated and trying to do something as a result of our government's consistent failings, says a listener there. Rightio. Let me see. I want to mention something just before I take a break. Due to a family emergency, Dr. Jilan Waba Abdallah Malajid, the Palestinian ambassador, has had to cancel all engagements in Donegal this week. We did speak to the doctor earlier in the week. She and the Palestinian embassy extend their sincerest apologies for any inconvenience caused, and they say we're working to reschedule this important public meeting and look forward to hosting future events. Thank you for your understanding and continued support. And lastly, just before the break, I think people on social welfare should be left alone, seeing Ireland so rich and giving money towards everything else and paying people from other countries to come to Ireland and put on teachers and pay them. No other country does this. Right, okay. I got the first bit. The second bit, I'll have to reread that. That's a caller says, leave those on social welfare alone.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
The 9 till noon show brought to you by Sony Centre Letterkenny. From party speakers to TVs, cameras and camcorders, find it all at Ireland's only Sony store. Free deliveries on orders over €100. Visit sonycentre.ie today.
We move Ireland's energy through one of Europe's most modern gas networks, delivering the energy you need today throughout the country. And now we're moving Ireland's energy in a new way, bringing more sustainable sources into the pipeline. Gas Networks Ireland, moving Ireland's energy.
Nutria's Lamb Finisher ATP is now on promotion at your local Homeland. Buy 10 bags and get one free, or get €15 off per tonne in bulk. Nutria's Lamb Finisher ATP contains 16% crude protein for an ideal balance of energy and protein, with intake booster for faster finish. T's and C's apply. Contact your local Homeland or farm commercial specialist today. Visit nutrius.ie for full product details.
Do you live in Donegal? Fancy upskilling without breaking the bank? Big Red Cloud, in collaboration with KW and Donegal Education and Training Boards, is offering a series of free, yes free, training programs in bookkeeping and payroll. All courses are available online with flexible learning schedules at times that suit you. Big Red Cloud enables learners with no prior knowledge to upskill in payroll and accounts. Sign up today at bigredcloud.com/training. Free, certified and completed at your own pace. Brought to you by Donegal ETB.
Just the way I am. This Bank Holiday Sunday at the Abbey Hotel, Donegal, get ready for a spectacular night with Ireland's most exciting band, the Tumblin' Paddies. Come in your best fancy dress and dance the night away. Tickets on Eventbrite or pay at the door. The Tumblin' Paddies this Sunday.
Looking for your number one stop shop that's got it all? Then make John McNulty's convenience store and top oil service station in Stranraer, Donegal your number one destination. Whether you're topping up on petrol or diesel, stocking up on solid fuel or grabbing a delicious bite from their hot deli, John McNulty's has everything you need. Convenience, quality and service, all in one place. Because at John McNulty's, they put you first. Visit John McNulty's today, your number one choice.
Had an interesting comment from a listener, and I wonder, does this resonate with any of you out there? The HSE send you out a bowel screening pack to people over a certain age. The caller says, I'm in the process of doing the home testing kit, but I'm now beginning to wonder if there is any point. I called the HSE because my partner previously did 2 tests. Both came back saying the sample was outside the 10-day bracket to test, yet we received a letter to say this within 7 days of posting, so how is that possible? You can call a number, it's 1-800-454-555, but they couldn't answer any questions. How have others got on with this test? So, did you get any contact from the HSC as it relates to bowel screening packs? And did you get, the contact from them being that they couldn't test your sample because it was outside the 10-day bracket, but the caller says that they got it back in time and it doesn't make sense. Right, so as you would know, last week, dozens of small and medium enterprise business owners travelled down to Dublin. They joined with thousands others because they were protesting the pressures on various industries, tourism, hospitality, pubs, restaurants, beauty salons and so on and so forth. They're saying they're being crippled by costs and the government must do something. Fine Gael TD Peter Burke is Minister for Enterprise, Trade and Employment. He's with us now. Good morning to you, Minister. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Greg, and good morning to all your listeners.
Right, so as you would know, there's been a lot of criticism levelled at government from the business communities, those that I mentioned and others, over recent measures that have been implemented. They're saying it's introducing, loads of extra costs and that these businesses, have to burden those. And, with the higher VAT rate that was returned some time ago and other pressures such as electricity and what have you, that many simply cannot survive any longer. You're addressing that, you would say, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So when I was appointed to this job last April, I've really changed the dial in the department to really focus on our small family businesses, because there are so many of them up and down the country. They employ 2/3 of people in all our communities. So the first couple of weeks of my appointment, I brought in an SME package which delivered cuts in PRSI, brought in additional grant aid for the hospitality and retail sector in terms of an additional bullet payment. And also we changed a number of grants to try and help with the ongoing utility costs like power, trying to give significant grants to allow for LED lighting, kitchen upgrades and refrigeration, which is about €10,000 per business. So we're trying to make a number of changes in that regard. And now before Christmas, this Thursday, I'll be launching a power up grant, which will be another €4,000 payment into every retail and hospitality business with a rates bill below €30,000. So we have a lot more work to do, but I am responding. And obviously we have the 9% cut in VAT rate for electricity bills as well, which should be helping business ongoing into next year.
A lot of the frustration we receive from business owners here is that because they are struggling, that maybe they've fallen behind with their rates bill with the council, and some I've spoken to are addressing the issues. They're in payment agreements with the local authority and are writing down or reducing, the monies owed, but they find themselves unable to qualify for many of these supports. Is that the case? And if so, why are those that need them most precluded from receiving them?
No, that's absolutely not the case. It's very important that you do raise that issue with me because it is very valid. We've had to speak to a number of local authorities about this issue. So if you have a customer who is paying rates, but they have engaged with the local authority, they may be in arrears, they may be finding difficulty in meeting the commitments of their phased payment agreement, but once they have engaged with the local authority, they will qualify for this €4,000 grant, and that will assist them with their rates bill, like the previous iterations of both the increased cost of business grant 1 and 2, which was specifically centred around retail and hospitality, just because our joint report with the Department of Social Protection and the Department of Enterprise specifically said those sectors are currently vulnerable. And I know that's why I want to do, hopefully through our manifesto as we go into the electoral cycle, to do a lot more for those areas. But I can demonstrate since my appointment in April that they will have got 3 separate grants by Christmas, and they will have got a cut-in period aside to reflect those and make it easier to employ people on the minimum wage workers. I haven't progressed with additional sick pay days. I haven't progressed with a very stark increase in permit fees, and also I haven't progressed with a very big jump up to living wage. We had a minimum wage increase, which was well below what was expected by many in the area, and that was working with the Independent Low Pay Commission and really reflecting the environment that businesses are operating in currently.
Okay, Minister, I just want to be absolutely clear because it is an important point, and I'm glad you clarified. So if a business is, even if it's in arrears, but it is engaging with a local authority, what grants are available to them now? Because I suspect there are many out there that believe that they don't qualify for these for the reasons we've outlined. So if they are engaging with the council, even if they're behind on rates, what supports are they available? Can they avail of right now? What can they apply for, and in what area and in what quantity?
So firstly, they should have got 2 rounds of the increased cost of business fund if they're in hospitality and retail. And essentially, that was 50% of their rates bill. So they should have got that already. Secondly, this week, I'm going to open a portal which they will all get an email from through their local authority that will have a link on it. And it will be only a matter of clicking on the link, demonstrating that they are still trading, obviously, because it is taxpayers' money. And they will get a grant of €4,000 between now and hopefully the end of November. And once you are engaging with the local authority, you do not have to have your rates account up to date. Once you're engaging with them and trying to work with them, you will get paid. And it's very important that businesses know that, because we are here to help. We really want to assist businesses. And we have the National Enterprise Hub now, which all your businesses should be aware of. That's a new portal which is established online, and it has a suite of about 280 different supports for businesses. And my aim as a new minister is that I don't want any business in any region, in any part of our country, to go out of business without first asking the state for help and leaning on us and seeing what we can do.
Some have said already that the 4,000 doesn't go far enough with all of the overheads and the increases that have either happened or are coming down the line, and even a reduction to 9% for certain sectors would not have been enough in and of itself. What else is there on the horizon? If returned to government, do you envisage something that more long term rather than these payments here and there? I think what businesses want, they want a trading environment that's long term. The level of planning has to go in to keep a business above ground. Can you make any commitment to try and make the cost of doing business easier, less?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right in that, Greg. And one of the things is they want to change the model they're operating under. They don't want, sticking plasters every year like one-off grant payments. I absolutely get that, and I understand that. So one thing I can say right now, before a manifesto is published as a party, what we can do now and businesses can do now, there is an energy efficiency grant, and I saw businesses in your region, small delis, shops, that have saved about €1,000 to €1,500 per month on their energy utility bill by upgrading and retrofitting some of the equipment that are currently using power in their property. That grant is €10,000 and they can claim that now. It's open now through their local enterprise office, and I would really appeal to them that don't underestimate the value of it, because for LED lighting or refrigeration or kitchens or all those appliances, or if you're a hairdresser and you're trying to get lower energy using equipment, all that can be used now. I've changed a lot of the conditions to reflect and make it more easier for smaller businesses. There was changes made that really made it more difficult before I came into office, but I've reversed all those and made it really easy now for small family businesses to get that grant, and that will reduce their cost base. So that's one thing we can do now. In the future, we have a lot of plans, obviously, to help businesses. We're really going through that. We'll be launching a manifesto, obviously, in the coming weeks to reflect that. And one of the big things that I've done since I became a minister as well, I've introduced a small business test for all the family businesses, that every single memo, statutory instrument, regulation, government decision now has to have an impact assessment on it to demonstrate exactly how it impacts on small family businesses. And at this point in time, there have been 43 memos through 11 departments that have gone through that assessment since I was appointed. So I'm really going big on that to ensure that we don't have Dublin thinking up of big, difficult regulations that our small family businesses can't cope with and that are putting extra costs on them.
Was there not an opportunity in the budget, though, to look at ways to support businesses, even with the 9% VAT rate? Say, for instance, to decouple restaurants and hotels. Hotels can loosen the swings and gain on the roundabouts. And we know many hotels, not in this region particularly, but certainly in the capital, can gouge and the public at certain times, if not all of the time. Was there not an opportunity, Peter, to sort of say, right, we have measures to sort of see how big a business is, how it isn't, be it rates or income or whatever it might be, and to have something that is tailored so that it supports these? You know yourself, you're seeing the restaurants closing left, right and centre, and I suspect there's going to be a tranche of them over the next couple of weeks as they can't bear a tough winter and difficult trading again with everything coming down the line in 2025. So why could we not have done something that was more nuanced, that looked after the businesses that would perhaps meet the SME test when the time was right, i.e. Budget 25?
So look, absolutely, there are always opportunities within government, and believe you me, Greg, I've fought very hard for all our family businesses, and one thing we did try on the hospitality and to use a different model of that would have potentially assisted them. But government is like making decisions collectively, and unfortunately, under the parameters that were there, I wasn't successful in terms of that measure.
Who opposed that, Peter? Who was it, from within the party or the coalition members?
No, it's just a collective government decision, so it wouldn't be helpful to me to go into detail on it, but it's a collective government decision. But what I can say, and this is the most important thing through negotiations, you have to walk away with a deal that you can say is a good deal for business, and I'm absolutely confident that the collective deal I've put together, be it in terms of the VAT thresholds, the extension of the lower VAT rate for power, better grants, increased cost of business and the Power Up grants that they will be getting now, the reduction in the minimum wage PRSI threshold, all those areas are going to assist businesses right now. And the second point I make, and this is going to be so important, that we have so many supports available to businesses now. It's incumbent.
But the problem is the complication in applying for them.
But I've reduced a lot of that. Yeah. And I can tell you, Greg, here and now, and this is genuine, it would take someone about 90 seconds to apply for this new Power Up grant. 90 seconds. Right. If you have good broadband, which through the government's initiative now, people should have broadband in rural areas that will rival the heart of Manhattan and New York. If you have good broadband, it should take 90 seconds just to apply for this grant. It will have 4,000 in your account, and you could take many businesses to turn over €80,000 on the margins that they are telling me they're operating on to make a profit of €4,000. That's a €4,000 payment directly into you. Okay. But I would say as well, some of the sectoral groups need to work with businesses as well, making them aware of so many of these supports that government has.
Are you on about ISME, IBEC, those types of groups? Is that just because some of the language is lost on us general members of the public?
Absolutely, all of them collected, and many. I'm not saying many of them are doing excellent work, but I'm saying if you have some of them announcing every single day a restaurant has closed today, a restaurant has closed tomorrow. The reality is we need to work and demonstrate what we can do to help them and help those members up and down the country. And secondly, we have about under 1,000 restaurants and hospitality outings that have opened since the 1st of January. So there are some opening too. There are some good news stories.
Yeah,
But I am not a tone-deaf individual. I absolutely understand the pressure they're under.
Okay.
And I'm a minister when I understand it because I worked in it for over a decade as a chartered accountant.
Now, Minister, I know you don't want to throw anyone under the bus or name anyone, but just to help us as the public understand, when you were fighting for a alternative way of maybe applying a VAT reduction, just so we understand how government works, because it's an interesting insight. Would that resistance be coming from civil servants in the Department of Finance or whatever, or is it coalition partners? You don't have to name anyone, but just so we understand, You said you were fighting hard to get this stuff over the line, and I've heard, in fairness, those in the industry credit you with that. But where, on a topic like this, without naming names or, not names, but you know what I mean, where does the resistance come? How come you couldn't get it over the line? Just to give us an understanding as to how politics works.
So it's very clear how politics works is that you obviously have a pre-budget submission. So every minister will go and make an opening look for exactly what they need for their sector. I obviously did that as part of my sector. And the critical thing is your listeners will be so aware that every minister, the same as any person going into negotiation, doesn't get everything they want. But they have to fight for what they want. So essentially when you go in, there is an envelope of money there between all the 15 government departments. There's about 1.4 billion on the taxation side. And essentially, the VAT is a very significant cost of that. And there is an argument that's present within many areas, be it the civil servant and civil service, and within government, that, in terms of retail, what does a reduction in the VAT rate do? It doesn't do anything in theory. In terms of what does it do for essentially keeping businesses viable, because you're using a tax measure to try and keep businesses viable, which is a challenging thing, and we are at full employment at the moment. So there are arguments against it, and they would say, well, income tax people need a cut. You need a cut in USC, you need a cut in the standard rate cut-off point, and all that ekes away.
So would you sort of do you think there's an argument there that then, and I've kind of hinted at this on the show previously, and it sounds cause, but is it really then that, it has to be to some extent a survival of the fittest, that you cannot necessarily support businesses that aren't viable? Good businesses with good margins will always stay open, but you can't necessarily support a business that's not financially viable to begin with.
I think first what we have to do for businesses is give them everything we can as a government to ensure that we can cushion the blow of the cost of business increases and then try and lower the cost base. And we have some great ideas to do that we will be publishing in our manifesto. But also, and this is the key point I want to get across, there are measures there that are not being utilised to the extent that they should, that can lower the monthly outgoings of businesses right across the country. And the best way of giving businesses money is not taking their own money off them. So if we can reduce their power bill, their utility bills, that in essence makes them more viable every single month, because those commitments are.
And I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying in that, Restaurants Association, ISME, IBEC, whatever they are, they could even have their own portals that would even make it much more easier for those members to maybe access these, a one-stop shop, or for that matter, chambers of commerce perhaps have a role in that regard. I'm not sure how effectively they are working across the country, but I suppose that's the role of supporting business, isn't it, as well, to make it as easy as possible to access this stuff. All right, a lot to consider there.
It is indeed.
Yeah, all right, a lot to consider there.
We're all in this one thing I'll say, Greg, we're all in this together. A healthy Chamber of Commerce has a healthy business community, has a healthy business association, and government can help them along the way. Okay. So we all need to work together.
What are you doing on November 29th, do you know?
I think we could be very busy on November 29th from what I'm hearing.
Okay, cheers, Peter. Thanks for your time. Minister for Enterprise, Trade and Employment, Fine Gael TD, Mr. Peter Burke.
The 9 till noon show with Sony Centre Letterkenny. Check out their great range of TVs, headphones, speakers and cameras. Best deals guaranteed. Shop now at sonycentre.ie. Free delivery over €100.
All you need to make your house a home at Patterson's The Hall Ifford. Christmas Layaway Club now open with lots of Christmas gift ideas in store, like Hollywood mirrors, dressing tables, beanbags and much more. Need a new mattress? Visit our sleep centre on the first floor with quality beds and mattresses at discount prices. In stock and ready for immediate collection or delivery. Open Monday to Saturday 9am till 5:30pm with hot lunches served daily in our coffee shop. Patterson's Kitchens and Interiors. The Hall Ifford.
Move your life and career to new levels.
Think beyond today's limits.
eCollege is Ireland's national online learning service, and it's open to everyone.
From cybersecurity and project management to sustainability and software development, eCollege courses are online, free and flexible.
Fuel your future with enjoyable, engaging courses that fit around your life and goals.
Explore your full potential today at ecollege.ie. Supported by Solus and the Government of Ireland.
Hey mate, how's all in Oz? No crack here, just it's 2:30 in the morning. An early night these days. Look, I'm not partying, I just can't sleep. Tomorrow will be fun.
Trouble sleeping, low mood, stress and feeling anxious can all be signs you should check in with your mental health. For support that can help, use the My Mental Health Plan tool at yourmentalhealth.ie from the HSC.
Are you worried about trees on your property? Northwest Forestry Services Ballybuffet are fully insured and have over 40 years' experience in dangerous tree removal, tree felling, surgery and stump grinding. For peace of mind, call Northwest Forest Services Ballybuffet for a no-obligation quotation on 913233.
Thinking of getting a new car in 2025? Why not get one in 2026 as well? Buy a selected 251 Nissan and we'll replace it with a 261 Nissan for free. For details about this and all our 251 offers, contact your local Nissan dealer or visit nissan.ie. Nissan. Defy ordinary. Terms and conditions apply.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. If you haven't started using the McElhinney's Layaway Club, it's not too late. Spread the cost of Christmas with designer gifts for the whole family. Available by phone or in-store at McElhinney's Ballybuffet.
So largely dry this morning, but perhaps a little cloudy. Some early spells of sunshine will be limited as more clouds build later. Southerly breezes will freshen a little this afternoon with temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees. Cloudy and rather mild this evening. A few spots of mist and drizzle. Overnight temperatures 10 to 13 degrees. That is borderline balmy. That is quite cold, isn't it? Oh, quite mild, sorry, isn't it? If you're in the Lifford area, just got notification that there's a repair to a burst water main. It may cause disruptions to Clonley, Port Lifford and surrounding areas. The works are scheduled to take place until 4 p.m. Later today. So if your water has just gone out, that's why. Right, okay, good. Internet. Where the hell is this man from? Internet is crap in this country. Just goes to show if the government talks poop, they say, but they use a different word. I think he's sort of pre-election suggesting that many people out there have good internet, though obviously that listener doesn't. Greg, you could need a degree to fill out forms for these grants. Also costs you a fortune to implement the recommended changes to achieve these grants. The increase in rate of pay, auto-enrolment pension and sick days are the real problem facing small businesses going forward. This is like bolting the door when the horse has gone. For most small businesses, they've already closed. This is a voting ploy, nothing else. And of course, I can't be overly cynical. We are in an election cycle, and the minister has to have his opportunity to get his views across. And I'm sure the opposition or the likes of you, the listener, who disagree, are there to sort of counter that. That being said, and I put it to the minister and offering him a chance to reply. The sense is that it can be too hard to apply for these grants. He says you can apply for the $4,000 in 90 seconds, providing you've got good internet, and it's paid before Christmas, and you can get it even if you're in arrears on your rates. Interested to know if that's news to any businesses out there. I'd love to think that, whilst the supports maybe aren't perfect or not complete, that maybe that conversation has put €4,000 in the coffers of a business. The bottom line here, says the listener, is the government is closing down small businesses. They can say what they want, but this is the case. And it was kind of interesting, the minister's comments, as he was arguing the point for some of the measures. The counter-argument seemed to be that we're in full employment and you can only do so much with the tax there, which kind of fed into my theory that I've had in the past, that the fittest survive sort of a thing. I'm not saying that's what he subscribes to. I'm just saying that's how it can feel. The bowel screen query, it's 10 days from the date of the initial letter with the kit. Sample must be back within them 10 days, that 10-day window. It's to do with the chemical that the sample is stored in, I believe. Okay, thank you very much for that, and on it goes. Right, a busy first hour. Thank you so much for all of your contacts. Any I didn't get to, I'll catch up on as we progress. We've got some interesting stories and features for you, as we always do, but particularly today, coming up over the next couple of hours. But stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We're about to bring you the very latest news and the obituary notices. Rejoin us after.
The 9 till noon show, sponsored by Sony Centre, Letterkenny. Discover the best in tech, TVs, soundbars, noise-cancelling headphones, mirrorless cameras and more. Best deals guaranteed. Shop in-store or at sonycentre.ie.
Give your windows a fresh new look from Foy's in Letterkenny, who have an incredible range of luxurious fabrics and custom-made curtains from top brands like Harlequin, Sanderson, Clark & Clark and more. Foy's also have you covered for blinds, from sleek modern designs to timeless classics, and our massive selection of curtain poles and accessories means you'll find the perfect finishing touch. Residential or commercial, Foy's will bring your vision to life. Visit Foy's in Letterkenny today and see why we're the Northwest's go-to for curtains and blinds.
We're celebrating 125 years of Opel. And with a milestone like that, what better time to explore Opel's extensive award-winning range? Plus, if you order your 251 Opel now, we'll gift you with a €500 Dunn Stores gift card. Other than that, we've not much else to talk about. In fact, the percentage of time we're going to talk about finance offers, that would be 0%. Happy buy day to you. Find out more about our 251 offers at Manor Motors Opel. See manormotors.ie for details. T's and C's apply.
There's something spooky going on at National Trust Northern Ireland. Sink your teeth into devilly streets and enchanting music at Llewellyn's Monster Market. Creep down to Castle Ward for a bewitching bazaar. Folklore lives in the misty woodlands of Mount Stewart. Feast on wickedly good food, crafts and entertainment at Florence Court's Festival of Colour. Spooky stories at Spring Hill. Face your fears at Carrick-a-Reed and join Finn McCool's Frightful Fun Fest at the Giant's Causeway. Search National Trust NI.
Keep out the cold, and ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
Rossview Interiors are currently holding a mega Halloween sale with huge discounts throughout the store. Get a massive 40% discount off real leather sofas. Corner suites are from €990. Dining sets from €790. And there's huge savings on occasional furniture. So get along to Rossview Business Park, Letterkenny, just off the Polestar roundabout, and pick up a real bargain.
Looking for the best rates on foreign currency? Visit Bureau Express on Lifford Road, Strabane. We offer special rates for commercial customers competitive with banks on currencies like euro and sterling and dollars. With 60 currencies and free parking, we're your one-stop shop. Call 028 7188 2081. We're the last turn-off before the Asda roundabout. Bureau Express, Strabane.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. 2 people were injured last night in a fire in Letterkenny. It's understood the blaze broke out at a house in the Ballamacool area at around 10 o'clock last night. The victims were treated by ambulance personnel at the scene for non-life-threatening injuries. Gardaí say their inquiries are ongoing. The front of a business in Derry has been damaged as a result of a road traffic collision shortly after 5 yesterday evening. The PSNI received a report of a single vehicle crash in the vicinity of St Bridget's Avenue. They say no injuries were reported. However, the front of the building and its shutters sustained damage. Business Minister Peter Burke says businesses can claim rate supports from government from this week, even if they are in arrears with their local authority rates. On this morning's 9 till noon show, Minister Burke accepted that there is concern, particularly in the hospitality sector, at the pressure on businesses at the moment, with many businesses saying that not enough was done in the budget earlier this month to support them. Minister Burke told Greg Hughes the government does want to support business and said a 4,000 grant is being made available from this week.
This week I'm going to open a portal which they will all get an email from through their local authority that will have a link on it, and it will be only a matter of clicking on the link, demonstrating that they are still trading, obviously, because it is taxpayers' money, and they will get a grant of €4,000 between now and hopefully the end of November. And once you are engaging with the local authority, you do not have to have your rates account up to date. Once you're engaging with them and trying to work with them, you will get paid.
And you can listen back to that whole interview between Greg and Minister Peter Burke on our website, highlandradio.com. A visit from the Palestinian ambassador to Donegal has been postponed as a result of a family illness. Dr. Jilan Abdelmajid and the Palestinian embassy have extended sincere apologies for any inconvenience caused. It means all engagements have been cancelled, including a public meeting that was to have taken place in Minacreve tomorrow evening. Efforts are underway to have this meeting rescheduled in the future. Businesses in Strabane are being alerted to a recent surge in counterfeit banknotes which have been circulating in the town. The Strabane BID issued a warning after receiving multiple reports from local vendors. Councillor Raymond Barr, a pub owner in the area, noted this type of crime often increases during the holiday season. He's advising businesses to use UV scanners to detect fraudulent notes.
I haven't been affected as yet myself. I've heard plenty of people talking about it. Unfortunately, this is the time of the year for it. I have a pub in Strabane myself, and unfortunately the hospitality business would be one of the main targets this time of the year, given the busy the pubs are and the restaurants,
What can business owners do to be vigilant on it?
You can, of course, scan the notes. If you haven't got one of those, I would advise people to get one.
The footpath beside the area of Letterkenny's Main Street, where 3 buildings were demolished at the weekend, has now fully reopened. Last night, comprehensive site clearance works were carried out, with the demolition site now clear and measures taken to strengthen the walls of a remaining building on Market Square. The road leading on the left down the Market Square has also been cleared, but as of this morning, a barrier remains in place and traffic is still being diverted to the right of the bandstand. The Climate Change Advisory Council is calling on the government to stop subsidising fossil fuels as Ireland's second carbon target moves out of reach. The council warns failure to meet the EU's 2030 carbon budget target could cost the country €8 billion. Continuing retrofit schemes, reducing imported fossil fuels and supporting the agriculture sector are among the suggestions outlined in its annual report. Marie Donnelly is chair of the Climate Change Advisory Council. She says investments are needed to give people more carbon-friendly choices.
Put the services in place that will allow people to make the choice to go, for example, public transport or active travel, and also subsidise and support people to buy the new technologies that are low carbon technologies, and that's a big factor.
Uisce Éireann has issued a water outage notice for residents and businesses in the vicinity of Clonley Park in Lifford. The planned works are scheduled to continue until 4 o'clock this afternoon. It may take 4 hours after that time for water supplies to be fully restored to normal. Well, the forecast largely dry this morning, perhaps a little cloudy. Some early spells of sunshine limited as more cloud builds later. Southerly breezes will freshen this afternoon with top temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. This evening, cloud and mild weather to be expected. Some spots of mist and drizzle will develop later tonight. Most areas staying dry and lowest overnight temperatures of 10 to 13. Moderate and gusty southerly winds. Tomorrow very cloudy with outbreaks of light rain and drizzle from early on. Rain developing later, becoming more widespread tomorrow afternoon and evening in top temperatures of 12 to 16 degrees Celsius. That's Highland Radio News. We're back with headlines at 11. Check all of today's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning.
The obituary notices this Wednesday morning, October 23rd. The death has taken place of Susan McDermott, 91, St Finian's Park, Moville. Susan's remains will leave Eamon McLaughlin's funeral home Station Road, Carndonagh today at 5 p.m, going to her home. Funeral from there on Friday at 10:30. For 11 a.m, funeral mass in St Pius X Church, Moville, followed by interment in Bocken Graveyard. Funeral mass can be viewed on movilleparish.com. Family time from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m. and on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only please. Donations in lieu to Carndonagh Community Hospital, care of any family member or Eamon McLaughlin Funeral Director. The death has occurred of Clemens Gallagher, Mina Khan, Imver. Funeral arrangements are to be confirmed later. The death has occurred of Frank Kelly, Ross Cad, Creasla, Donegal. Remains are reposing at his home. Funeral Mass in St Michael's Church, Creasla, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Burial afterwards in Doe Graveyard. Mass can be viewed live on mcn.live. Family time please from 10 p.m. tonight and on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only please. Donations in lieu if desired to Fulcarra Community Hospital Comfort Fund, care of any family member or James Harkin Funeral Director. The death has taken place of Cabrini McConalogue, Dromore, Lower Letterkenny. Remains are reposing at her late residence today from 12 noon until 10 o'clock. Funeral Mass in St Eunan's Cathedral, Letterkenny at 11 a.m. tomorrow, followed by burial in Conwall Cemetery. Family flowers only, donations in lieu to Donegal Hospice, care of Jim McGlynn, funeral director, or any family member. House private on the morning of the funeral, please. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Ladies, always discreet, has something to say. If your bladder leaks or not, always remember to squeeze a day. Keep your pelvic floor stronger for longer, just by squeezing on through the day. Just lift and hold, just lift and hold, to always squeeze the day. When you need protection, come what may, always discreet will lock those leaks away.
Text or WhatsApp your view to Greg on 086 60 25,000.
Or call them in for that matter, 07491 25,000. Welcome back to the 9 till noon show. It is good to have you on board for this Wednesday. Clocks go back, I was thinking clocks go back on Sunday. I mean, are you all for that? Does it make any difference? Or maybe it does, I don't know. They often say it benefits certain communities. I think I've heard the argument for farming communities and what have you. Listen, whatever chance of averting it, I think, are gone now that Britain's out of the EU, because we couldn't have two time zones on the island of Ireland, for an example, and they're probably less likely to align themselves to Europe at this point than they might have in the past. But, you know, we'll get an extra hour of light in the morning for what it's worth. That dissipates very quickly, doesn't it, really? Two odd minutes a day. So in 30 days, you've lost that hour. But it'll instantly be dark like at 5:15. So we'll have our curtains drawn, our lights on at 5:15, probably 5:30 next Monday, Tuesday. Do you like the change in time? Do you think it's something that should be looked at? Interestingly, and it was pointed out to me yesterday, that the EU did progress a bill to quite an advanced stage to get rid of changing the clocks forward and back. But I just wonder, we live with it, and it's not a big issue. There's some serious stuff going on in the world, but there's light and shade, right? I'm just curious as to who it advantages. So if you are, now not just the extra hour we might get in bed if you don't have a toddler, because for some reason toddlers are like the clock on your wrist, the watch on your wrist. They seem, in my experience, to automatically reset to the new time. So you don't get the extra hour. They just wake up an hour earlier, but then want to go to bed an hour later. But anyway, that's toddlers for you. But do you see a benefit to it? Is it something that you're in favour of? Because I think a lot of people would be against it, but I'm just curious to wonder who it benefits. If it's you, let us know. 086 60 25,000. Some of your comments coming through. Following Sinn Féin's dramatic drop in the polls, I believe the only solution is to dramatically drop Mary Lou McDonald as leader before the election is called. It's not too late. The alternative is a disaster at the polls that may take the party years to recover from. Or it could be a bounce back. You know, the final 3 or 4 weeks, there's a lot to play for here. Every party goes through a stage where they're in a sticky wicket. Fianna Fáil are just even slightly ahead of Sinn Féin. So, you know, Sinn Féin are not in a terrible position either. What will be interesting to see, obviously, in the last election, they were so popular, they didn't run off candidates. And I wonder now, maybe could they be running too many candidates, splitting votes and what have you? I don't know. Are the adjusting strategies in that level? But there's a long way to go, and the party will be confident of party, I presume, will be confident going into the elections. It's probably too late to drop Mary Lou McDonald as leader. I'd say the party feels they owe her not to do that. Fine Gael were clever in that they changed their leadership at the right time, arguably. And also, too, and it was mentioned by John McAteer on the show yesterday morning, is there a natural successor to Mary Lou McDonald? Do you see a natural successor that actually will... because the person just doesn't have to be a different face. They have to be able to sort of maybe a little reset and bring the party forward. But anyway, I can't imagine any of that happening prior to the next general election. And it's only, 5 weeks away? Is it? Yeah, 5 weeks away. A caller says, when you qualify in this country as a teacher, you need to do a further 2 years teaching to get your CID done before you get a full-time contract after paying $12,000 for a 2-year master's in education. I presume that's an argument sort of against compelling people as part of their course where there's a government contribution to stay in this country and to work for at least a short period of time. Yesterday, we spoke to a family who were over on holidays in Portugal. They had a horrible experience. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I've never suffered bad turbulence on a plane, nor have I ever went through an attempted landing. Do you know, a landing that was abandoned? But our family that we were chatting to, they had been to Portugal. They were flying back on Sunday, and we know Storm Ashley was up and going at that point. The plane tried to land 4 times in Dublin. So you can imagine what that was like. At last minute, took off and went round again. There was also a medical scare on the plane, and it was diverted to Manchester. It ended up in Birmingham anyway. And they'd had enough at that stage, and they said, look, we have to get off this plane. And the gentleman we were talking to, Darren, yesterday, he conceded that, look, they made the decision, and this was about raising awareness, not necessarily trying to get Ryanair to take responsibility or what have you. But we did contact Ryanair, re Darren's flight, just to see what they might say. And their reply reads as follows. This flight from Faro to Dublin diverted to Manchester due to high winds at Dublin caused by Storm Ashley. The plane attempted to reroute to Dublin, where it was unable to land, and diverted to Birmingham for passenger safety. As this was an EU to EU flight, UK Border Force would not allow passengers to disembark in Birmingham. Passengers were provided with snacks and refreshments for sale from the in-flight bar service. That's nice of them. We apologise sincerely to all passengers for these delays and diversions which were caused by Storm Ashley, and our obligation to prioritise passenger and aircraft safety. We're grateful to our operations team and our crews who worked long hours in difficult circumstances during a storm on Sunday to get these passengers back to Dublin rather than cancelling their flight or having them stranded in UK airports. The flight continued to Dublin when the weather improved. These passengers, and there were about 30 or 40 of them, in inverted commas, refused to fly and voluntarily offloaded themselves following a flight diversion. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting any other response, but interesting to get that response directly there from Ryanair. Right, I will be back with more on the programme after these.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Wednesday, the 23rd of October. You're playing on the blue sheet. The reference number is S13. It's game number 43. The numbers are 4, 27, 86, 80, 78, 51, 9, 58, 63, and finally 33. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Get ready for Pumpkin Day at the ESA Centre, located on the Donegal Derry border, air code F93F104. This free event is open to everyone. Choose from a great selection of Halloween pumpkins. Enjoy face painting, tasty treats, hot food and tray bakes. Get spooky in our photo booth and don't miss the fancy dress fun. Be there if you dare. That's Pumpkin Day at the ESA Centre this Saturday the 26th, F93F104.
Due to phenomenal demand, the second date has been added for Mac Fleetwood in On Greenland Theatre Saturday the 9th of November. Hear all the classic Fleetwood Mac hits, including Little Lies, Dreams, Go Your Own Way and many more. Tickets on sale from ongreenland.com and the venue box office. Brought to you in association with Joe Gallagher Entertainment.
Do you know what suits a suitcase? Suits a suitcase like me. What's suitable for a dutiful piece of luggage like me? Shannon Airport knows precisely what exactly suits me nicely. So find out concisely at shannonairport.ie.
Affordable parking, easy access, seamless security and dream holiday destinations like Lanzarote, Paris and New York for a hassle-free airport experience for you and your suitcase. Start your dream holiday at shannonairport.ie.
The 9 till noon show with Sony Centre Letterkenny, Ireland's only Sony store, offering the best deals guaranteed. TVs, soundbars, headphones, cameras, party speakers and much more. Shop in-store or online at sonycentre.ie.
Welcome back. Tracy Murray joins me on the programme now. Good morning, Tracy.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm okay, Tracy. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's hopefully a simple request. You're looking for images of your mother, who's from Donegal. Tell us a bit about your mum, Tracy, if you don't mind.
Well, it's actually my grandmother,
Your
so my
grandmother, I beg
mother's
your
mother,
pardon.
so it's probably a little bit more complicated. It sounds simple, but I don't think it's going to be. So we're hoping that one of your listeners could help us find a photograph of Rose Logue, who was from Cloughan. She is my mom's mom, and my mom was born in Convoy. She was born as Teresa McPeak in 1943, and Rose Logue and Patrick McPeak were her parents. So unfortunately, Rose herself died when Mom was only 10 months old. Rose was only 36 herself, and Mom doesn't know what she looked like, has no idea. Nobody's ever described her to her. So she's always wanted to see a photograph of her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
that's where we are.
I have images here that you sent to us. They're then of your mother, Teresa Murray.
That's right, yes.
Okay, and
yes.
what would be the benefit of me sharing those, in that it might twig something and they might recognise Teresa and then they might know Rose?
Exactly.
Okay, so for those
That's
watching
right,
the programme,
yeah.
I'm showing a picture here of Teresa Murray. That's her married name. And we're looking for pictures of her mum, Tracy's grandmother, Rose Logue. Okay, so tell us more a little bit about Rose then, and what we know of her.
Okay, so Rose was born in Cloughan, and she had 6 siblings, we know, from the 1911 census. So she was 2 years old at that time, and her parents were Neil and Mary. And she had Barney, Mary, William, Neil, Patrick, and James. And they were in Altnapaste. Now, I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering names here, but I don't know the little townlands. So that's, I think, in Cloughan. So she got married then in 1940, and they moved to Convoy. So she died then in 1944.
Very soon after Teresa was born, your mum.
Very soon. Mom was only 10 months old, yeah. So at that stage, she had an older brother, Mom, Louis, who was 2 years older than her, and they were sent to live in Dublin with her father's aunt. So they were living in Dublin using her aunt's married name of Kennedy when they were children, and it was only when she was a teenager that she realised that her real surname was McPeak. But then any questions she asked about her family were just brushed off. And I think in those times,
move forward, look forward.
Yeah,
blah,
exactly.
Blah, blah. Yeah, and I think people will be familiar with those conversations in their homes of a certain age.
I think so.
Your mom now is 81.
She's 81, yeah. She turned 81 a couple of weeks ago.
And she's never seen her mother.
No, she's never seen her. So we're hoping that somebody might recognise the name Rose Logue and realise that maybe they have an old Logue family album in their house.
Yeah.
And maybe there could be a photo of Rose and someone's wedding photos, or, you know, the Logue family seem to have been in Cloughan for quite some time. Looking at the old census, the Logues were Neil Logues. A lot of the fathers were called Neil Logue, and they go back, quite some time there in that area. So I'm wondering if there's any relation out there that would know.
Yeah, and just tell me the year again that Rose died. 19.
So she died in 44. She was born in 1908.
So the picture obviously would have to predate 1944, but there could have been a family event.
Bit of a long shot.
Well,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
never know. How important is it, your mum? Isn't it amazing that we go through our lives, everything that you go through in your adulthood, and you have your own children, and you reach the grand age of 81, which thankfully in this day and age is still relatively young, if you know what I mean. But it still remains, there's something there maternal, there's a draw, isn't there? There's still something very important to your mum, to see her own mum. I just think it's a human, almost a human condition. I don't think it's a bad thing. Well, it's amazing, isn't it?
The other thing, her father died when she was 10, and he wasn't really in her life, because he was in Donegal and she was in Dublin.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really a presence in her life. So, while she remembers what he looked like, she never heard anything about her mother. Now, a few years ago, actually, we did a DNA test for Mom on the Ancestry website because we thought we might find something out there. And through that, we connected with distant cousins in Philadelphia. There was a lovely lady there who told us that her elderly mother, who she's since passed away, was a young girl at Rose's wedding. So her own mother, and her name was Teresa Moy Call, I believe, she had done the wedding breakfast for them. So she remembered, and she was able to tell Mom, this is the only thing she's ever heard about her, is that Rose came from her brother James's house to get married, and that she wore a blue suit. And that this lady said she was very young at the time, but she was so excited to be at this wedding, so she remembered it. And that's the only information we've ever heard about Rose.
Okay, right. So I'm showing now for those watching or watching back a picture of Teresa Murray. She was born in Convoy in 1943 to Patrick McPeak and Rose Logue. Very shortly after Teresa was born, Rose Logue passed away. Teresa, who's Tracy's mum, was just 10 months old at that point. Rose was 2 years old, according to the 1911 census, living with her parents, Neil and Mary, and 6 siblings, Barney, Mary, William, Neil, Patrick and James. This in house number 7, Stronegarrow, Altnapace. Now, it's very important to Mum, Teresa Murray, to see her mum. She's never, ever seen her mother, Rose. So on the off chance there's someone out there, and there's a ton of Logues around the place, on the off chance that someone has an image, you would actually be able to allow a lady, 81 years of age, to see her mum for the very, very first time. So it's Rose Logue. A caller says there's a Barney Logue on the Glenties Road in Ballybofey at the Iron Bridge. Barney's family are from Altnapace originally. Someone in the Finn Valley Voice would be able to pass on his details. So there is, we have a Barney Logue,
great,
whose family's originally from Altnapace. Now that doesn't get us any closer to a photo, Tracy, but what it does do, it widens sort of the net. It means people are listening, and it increases our chances of identifying a photo, because I presume, things were quite advanced, between the 1901 to 1944, but I would imagine photographs might have been seen as something of a luxury. I could be naive in relation to that. So
I
we don't
we don't
know for sure if Rose, ever stood in front of a photo that remains.
That's it. We don't, but we're hoping there's some family photo out there from a wedding that maybe she was, a bridesmaid or one of the siblings in somebody's wedding photographs. That would just be amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And this gentleman that referenced here could very much be. Could not very much be. I don't want to draw conclusions, but the name and address matches that it could actually be. No, that wouldn't make sense, because that would make him a sister of Teresa, who I'm sure he would know her own brothers. But anyway,
I think we know about that. Yeah,
exactly. Right. Okay. So that's that. But anyway, listen, it is a lead. Right, Tracy, leave it with us, okay? And we'll see if anyone else can come up with anything. I'll recap the details once again, just as I say goodbye to you, to give us the best chance of it. And I think we could potentially make a lady very, very happy to see their mum for the first time. If it's out there,
that would be wonderful if it's possible at all.
All right, Tracy, take care of yourself. Pass on all love to your mother. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Okay.
Can I just say a big thank you to one of our family friends, Frankie Lupton, who actually approached you initially to do this. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be talking. So
this is why we're here. Take
and
care
thanks
of yourself.
to you all there.
All right,
thanks,
Tracy.
million.
Bye-bye. So that was Tracy Murray. Her mother is looking for a photo of her mother, Tracy's grandmother, because she's never seen her before. She's Teresa Murray. That's her married name. She was born in Convoy in 1943 to Patrick McPeak and Rose Logue. And it's Rose Logue who we're trying to track a picture down of. Rose passed away very soon after giving birth to Teresa. She lived in... Rose lived in... The 1911 census showed that Rose was 2 years old, living with her parents, Neil and Mary, and 6 siblings, namely Barney, Mary, William, Neil, Patrick and James. So those 6 are her brothers and sisters. She knows about those. And they were in, at that time, house number 7, Stronegarrow, Altnapace. Now, Teresa is 81. She turned 81 a couple of weeks ago, and she's never seen her mum, Rose Logue. And the outside chances is that someone out there, maybe in the wider Logue network or McPeak or whatever it might be, may have a picture of a family event or a wedding which Rose might have been present at. And wouldn't it be lovely, albeit a long shot, and we accept that, wouldn't it be lovely if we could allow Teresa to see her mother through picture for the very first time? Any information on that, recognising that it's a long shot, 086 60 25,000, or give us a call on 074 91 25,000. Right, okay. We were talking earlier on about bowel test screening, and there was a listener who was a bit frustrated with the system, her partner had done 2 tests, and on both occasions was notified that the tests couldn't be tested because they're outside of the 10-day window. And I think the caller was sort of saying, is it even worth going through with it? Because I contacted the HSC and so on and so forth. And Concepta's joined us to actually make a very important point, how important it is actually to test, because I don't want to discourage a single individual from taking on this important test. Concepta, good morning to you. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning, Greg.
Right, so you received your bowel screening test kit last year, and you're going to talk us through how important it is to actually go through with that test, Concepta.
I will, yeah. I got this bowel screening around the end of September of last year, and it came back within a few days to show that there was a slight trace of blood in the test and to have a colonoscopy. But it was, being that it's the screening program, you could be referred to any hospital. But the following morning, I got a call from Letterkenny, and I was scheduled for the 6th of November, which I went over and had the test done, and it showed that I had a tumour on my bowel.
Oh, wow.
And, and I was then scanned the following week. Had a CT scan on the 13th, and I met with the consultant on the 20th, and they said that it was cancerous, or they were fairly sure it was, and that I would be referred to Galway because it's through the screening programme, which I was down in December, and the consultant said it was fairly straightforward. Had surgery on the 23rd of February, and my result was that thankfully they took all away, but they took 23 lymph nodes, and one of them was positive, which meant that I had to have chemo for precautionary.
Yeah.
And I commenced on the chemo in Letterkenny on the 17th of November, and it's every 2 weeks, and I have number 9 done now, thankfully. But it's very, very important to have the test done.
My word. I'll ask you, what symptoms did you have?
Yeah. Absolutely none. Neither ache nor pain, nor any trace of blood or anything. I had absolutely no symptoms whatsoever.
Wow.
No.
But whatever test
None.
that they did,
Yeah. So
they
that's
were able to
important.
identify problems.
Absolutely, and it was actually the test I sent away was so tiny that I thought they were going to send it back to tell me to send more.
Yeah.
But no, it was So it is very, very important to do any tests where they're free of charge, and everything. It is free, so it's just so important. People are very lucky that it comes back, but at least. Even if it says there's a slight trace, it just could be polyps. But I had the tumour, and the consultant told me that it was very tightly wrapped around my bowel, and they had to take half of the bowel away. But thankfully, I didn't have no bag or anything on. But it's just very, very important to have.
And it's one of all cancers we need to get too early, but it's one of those cancers that can spread. And I don't. What's your attitude like, Concepta? I mean. Are you like, thank God, or whatever? Because if you hadn't received or sent this test away, God knows how far this cancer would have spread, and what impact it might have had on you. How do you deal with that?
Yes. Yeah, well, it was a big shock. It really was. But I am so glad that, it was. I think they've brought down the age group now. I had turned 60 in July, and that's when the test came out. But I think it's down to 59 or 58 now.
Right.
And it is a big shock, and it's not a nice journey to go on, but they are so positive that this one that I have is that is for precaution. So please God it is. But the staff in oncology in Letterkenny are just absolutely wonderful, and you have 24-hour access if you need anything, and it's. As I say, I'm so far so good. I'm not too bad. I had my chemo on Monday. I'm grand now today, but by Thursday and Friday you can just feel a wee bit off. But I've never had any really bad reaction to it, thankfully.
And you've just got number 9 out the way. How many left now, Concepta?
Yeah, 3 more.
Okay,
3 more left.
brilliant.
Yeah. It's a 12, and it's every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's grand, Yeah.
Precautionary.
Yeah.
Listen, Thank you so much, because
Yeah,
I
it's
never
just
twigged.
so important to have it done.
And I'll tell you what's really important, Concepta, because I never twigged, and it's only after the fact that if people shrugged their shoulders and said, sort of, what's the point then? So it's really important. Your story's amazing in helping me correct the record on that. It's so important to trust these tests and get them sent away.
Very important.
Okay.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm delighted
Because
that you're doing so well.
It may
Concepta.
not show, but I had no symptoms, so that was the scary part. That's when it hit home, and when I sat down and thought about it. If I hadn't turned 60 last year, how far advanced would it be when I would start to show symptoms?
Oh, yeah. Who's to say? Yeah, that's the worry. And how far might it have spread throughout other parts of the body, even not contained to the bowel?
Absolutely,
Okay, right,
Yeah.
just to let people know, you can get bowel cancer screening if you're aged 59 to 69. So you're right, it's been brought down a year, Concepta.
I think it's,
but it's down to 59.
I think they've scrolled down, and I think so, because I know of a few people,
Okay.
But if you don't get the letter, ring up that number and they will send you out a kit.
All right, okay. Yeah,
There's
2,600
a number on
people
it.
are diagnosed
Yeah,
with bowel
yeah.
cancer in Ireland every year. Okay, right.
Yeah.
I'll recap the
Yeah.
information here, and I'll let you go, Concepta. Good luck with the rest of the treatment, and I'm delighted to hear that it seems
Thank you very
so
much,
manageable.
Greg. Thank
All right,
you.
take care. Bye-bye. That's Concepta there. Don't decline those tests then. That's the message. So you can get a bowel screening if you're aged 59 to 69. It's free. You have to live in Ireland, of course. HSE offer your first home screening test between your 59th and 61st birthday, and then they'll be offered a home test every 2 years. You have to be on the register. You need to be on the bowel screening register before you're offered a home screening test. So if you're over 59 and you haven't received an invite, can I give you a telephone number, if you don't mind? Do you want to quickly grab a pen? Or maybe this can be for mum or dad or granny or granddad. You never know. Look at Concepta there. She had a tumour on her bowel and cancer was found in one of her lymph nodes. She had no symptoms, no bleeding, no nothing. And it was picked up by this bowel screening test that's sent out to people 59 and over. Right, so if you have that number now, it's 1-800, sorry if you have that pen, it's 1-800 45 45 55. And that means you can register for bowel screening, and it means you will automatically, once you hit 59 and between the ages of 59 and 61, you'll get your first bowel screening test. So please do it. Look what it's done to Concepta. I don't want to over-exaggerate it, but I think it saved Concepta there. Right, 1800 45 45 55 if you're not on the bowel screening register, bowel cancer screening register. If you didn't get that number, you might know ours. Give us a ring. More than happy to pass it on. And wow, what a story. I know if I were at 59, I would certainly, as we speak during the ad break almost, I'd be getting on that register to make sure. Right. I'm holding the official opening of an all-inclusive play park in Buncrana on Friday, the 25th of October. It's at 3 p.m. The Fun for All Play Park features a further 13 pieces of inclusive play equipment, including a Connect 4, sensory rocker, spring surfboard, and even a mini ticket office, along with picnic benches and communication boards. It'll have the usual official bits, but I really want to open the invitation to everyone, especially those who have helped in any way. I'd like to also thank you for all your kindness and support. That comes in from Green Robinson. So Green is telling us about the official opening of an inclusive play park. It's on Friday. It's at 3 p.m, so after school, and it's in Buncrana. And go along, celebrate its opening, but also have a look at the fantastic new equipment that's there as well for everyone in the community. Okay, we will be getting to more of your comments in a moment.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
The 9 till noon show brought to you by Sony Centre Letterkenny. From party speakers to TVs, cameras and camcorders, find it all at Ireland's only Sony store. Free deliveries on orders over €100. Visit sonycentre.ie today.
It's colourless, it's odorless, it's hard to detect. So carbon monoxide deserves your respect. It can kill you stone dead in just 3 minutes flat. And if you don't believe me, ask me dear Uncle Pat. Tagging you. Coal, turf, oil, gas, even wood, any fuel can harm. So get yourself a carbon monoxide alarm, or you might just wake up dead.
Easy Easy Living Furniture's massive Oktoberfest sale has been extended but must end this Sunday. Everything's reduced, including sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses and accessories. Visit us at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry, or online at easylivingfurniture.co.uk.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Easy Living has it all.
Easy Living Furniture. Luxury furnishings, affordable luxury.
A public interest message from Donegal County Council. Donegal County Museum needs your help to tell the story of the lives of Donegal women from the 1920s to the 1980s. Can you help with stories, photos or objects? Women's contribution to the history of Ireland has often been overlooked. Donegal County Museum, in partnership with Donegal County Archives, are developing a major exhibition that will shine a spotlight on the experiences of Donegal women as the new Irish state emerged. Donegal County Museum is located on the High Road in Letterkenny. Admission is free. Telephone 074 91 Email museum@donegalcoco.ie or find us on social media. Donegal County Council, protecting our heritage.
Homeland's Power Tool clearance sale starts this Friday, 25th of October. Save up to 50% on Skill and Cat Power Tools. Cat 18-volt brushless impact driver, now €99. Save €100. Skill multi-tool, now $44.99. Save €45. All this and much more. Shop exclusively in-store at your local Homeland store. Letterkenny and Sligo stores only, while stocks last.
If you're running low on worktop space, the new Ninja Double Stack Air Fryer is perfect. Raymond Sweeney here from Ben Sweeney Aeronix. With 2 stacked drawers and 2 meal racks, it evenly cooks 4 layers of food at the same time. Perfect for up to 8 people, saving up to 55% on energy costs compared to conventional ovens. See the new Ninja Double Stack Air Fryer at Ben Sweeney Aeronix, Port Road, Letterkenny, or in the shopping centre, Dunlow.
Now, I'd have mentioned about an hour ago about a non-serious road traffic incident. It was a lorry that went off the road. It's on the Glenties to Frosses Road. I'm showing an image of it there for those of you who are watching, and it's right off the road, it has to be said. And it is approaching what appears to be sort of the brow of a hill and a turn. So it's in a dangerous spot. No one's injured, okay, which is good news. But the Glenties to Frosses Road is going to stay closed now for the next 2 to 3 hours, this following that non-serious road traffic incident. So please use an alternative route where possible. So I imagine that's not going to open till around about lunchtime, because they're going to have to get a crane down to get this lorry out, which I don't think is going to be badly damaged. It just fell off the verge there, it seems, which is easy done. Right, okay, so that's that. Now, regular listeners to the show will know that when on the programme I first learned of these road traffic improvements in Donegal Town, it feels like ages ago now, I don't know how long ago it was, I didn't understand why it was happening. It made no sense to me. I didn't know what problem it was going to fix. It was going to cost an absolute fortune, and it was going to cause chaos. And unfortunately, on the rare occasion, I have been found to be correct on this one. Now, there's a public meeting coming up. It's the Donegal Town Traffic and Parking Improvement Committee. They're inviting people from the Donegal Town and local area to this meeting. The Mayor of Donegal Town is Pádraig Kennedy. He's on to help us promote this. Good morning, Pádraig.
Good morning, Greg, and good morning to all your listeners.
Right, okay, so what's been going on over the last few months that's led us to this public meeting?
Well, Greg, as you say, you were right. And I think, I suppose, like the rest of us, our concerns have been come to fruition in that the congestion led by certain aspects of the one-way system in Donegal Town has caused new traffic congestion in other areas of the town, and a system, I suppose, that was planned to alleviate traffic and assist in the flow of traffic has only contributed to the demise of it, really, the movement of a free flow of traffic, you know.
Well, I think what will happen is people will find themselves now diverting around Donegal Town. If you're coming in from Killybegs, traffic jams out towards Killybegs that were never there before. Simply, I'd never seen them there before, and it has had other impacts as well, Pádraig.
I suppose too, yeah, Greg, that end of the town, and you're leading 3 arteries into one artery now. One of the most densely populated sides of the town having to either go over Chiconnell Street or come in and go in the Moncharles Road. Or worse again, that people say, she can't get into Donegal and go somewhere else. And that's a problem too. And we have cases of people saying that they would normally come to Donegal and do their business, but now they go elsewhere. And that's, how is that good for business or anything? I don't understand,
So,
but,
I don't think the genie now can be put back in the bottle, Porg. Is there any working theories amongst with yourself or amongst those that you've been communicating with that could be there could be a solution? Because the one-way system now is locked in because the road has been narrowed to the point whereby it can be never made two-way again, as far as I'm aware. I wouldn't like to unravel that mess. So what possible?
I would say never say never. We have the Tully Junction that was never going to be a roundabout,
right,
and it was never going to be this, and you know it because you pass it a couple of times a day. Now it's a roundabout. So look, there's certain aspects of the town and the one-way system do benefit, and the wider footpaths and access for disabled and all that there is a good job. But we're calling for Water Street, New Row, to possibly go back to a two-way system. And to look at short-term parking in around the town area, maybe 1 hour parking to allow the movement of traffic. And
on the two streets that you mentioned, Porg, could I can't picture it in my head. Would that require undoing the widening of footpaths, or do they remain wide enough to facilitate two-way traffic?
There would be a certain amount of it would have to be
dug up, effectively
reduced, cut down the footpath. But look, stranger things have happened. Changes have been made before, and look, this system is a system, and these specifications are implemented to obtain the grant system. And they're kind of a generic to every town in the country, but I think they should be individualised to the towns, and the grant should be specified for that, and that like some systems just don't work in certain towns, and that's just the way it is. Letterkenny too has certain systems that just don't work.
But the whole movement in Letterkenny, the whole movement is towards actually increasing the flow of traffic and making it easier to go in and shop. What we've seen is a significant investment in Donegal town that actually has done the opposite. It's restricted the movement of traffic, and it's made it less attractive to go in and shop, because even once you actually finally get into the town, it can be tough to get parking. Forget about on the main street, and the 1 or 2 disabled parking spaces are there, which I think is criminal. But even when you go into the main car park, in the back there around about the credit union and what have you, parking spaces are at a premium. It's very, very difficult, and for some, the key's too far away. So everything has sort of been designed very sadly, because it's a beautiful, vibrant town, especially as it seems to be getting more tourism footfall now, or occasional weekend footfall. We should be doing things to improve stuff. Not to mention double parking around the Diamond, 5 or 6 buses outside the Abbey Hotel. Not only a bus sitting outside the Abbey Hotel, but sitting outside the Abbey Hotel, double parked, while the bus space is actually lying there empty, blocked. Crazy stuff. But someone needs to take control of the situation. Is it going to be the council, Porg?
Well, hopefully. This is a great opportunity. It's a rare. Well, I've never been at a public meeting at the council office, and all the councillors and council engineers are attending. And it's not a witch hunt. It's people. They can't say, there's nothing we can do. Get out, open your mouth and speak at the meeting, and and discuss. And if you have ideas about the town and things you would like to see in the town, the councillors are all there. They're available to talk. We have met with the council twice, and as a result of the public meeting back in the start of May or whatever, we said that we'd come back to the people after meeting with the council, and we'd tell them how we were getting on. And this is us, doing what we said we would do, and hopefully that we can meet some common ground. and that certain areas of the one-way system can be looked at.
Right, where's the meeting? Because sorry, okay, I get you now. I see from my notes. Right, it's council responding to issues raised at a public meeting that took place in May in the Abbey Hotel. This meeting is on Thursday at 8 p.m. It's at the Council Chamber Public Services Centre in Donegal Town. Local councillors will be in attendance, and you're asked to have your say. It's your town, have your say. The Donegal Town Traffic and Parking Improvements Committee are inviting the public to do so. I'm trying to think of the space in that room. I've been in there for a couple of meetings.
The screen can go back. We've been assured that it can hold up to 100 people.
Okay, brilliant stuff.
So
and
hopefully now it will be well attended. People get out and air there, because like last weekend we had the celebrations of the 550. The diamond looked beautiful. It was a great, a lot of impact with the light parades and all, and it is a great town. It's probably one of the jewels in Donegal. It's the gateway, and we just wanted betterment. We're not trying to have, as I say, a witch hunt here. We just want it to be right for everyone, and we just feel that certain aspects of this is not right, and hopefully that we can come to
it's public
some
money
solution.
being spent for the public, and the public should. I know there was a consultation, but anyway. All right, Pádraig, thanks for your time. Take care. The Mayor of Donegal Town, Pádraig Kenny. That meeting Thursday, 8 p.m. in the council offices there in Donegal Town.
The 9 till noon show with Sony Centre Letterkenny. Check out their great range of TVs, headphones, speakers and cameras. Best deals guaranteed. Shop now at sonycentre.ie. Free delivery over €100.
Because your no claims bonus matters to you, it matters to us. That's why all AXA car insurance policies include accident forgiveness as standard. So you'll never lose all of your no claims bonus if you have an accident or a claim is made against you. Get a quote today at axa.ie. AXA. Know you can. Policy terms and conditions apply. Accident forgiveness is step back. No claims discount protection for customers with 4 or more years no claims discount. AXA Insurance DAC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Nutria's lamb finisher ATP is now on promotion at your local Homeland. Buy 10 bags and get one free, or get €15 off per tonne in bulk. Nutria's lamb finisher ATP contains 16% crude protein for an ideal balance of energy and protein, with intake booster for faster finish. T's and C's apply. Contact your local Homeland or farm commercial specialist today. Visit nutrias.ie for full product details.
At Uisce Éireann, we're continuing to upgrade Ireland's water network to ensure a clean, safe and reliable water supply. When repair and maintenance work is required in your area, we want to make sure homes and businesses are informed. That's why we have a new free text alert service providing real-time updates for issues lasting more than 4 hours. Sign up with your mobile number and air code at water.ie. Uisce Éireann, delivering water services for Ireland.
Don't miss Academy Award winner Cillian Murphy in what critics are calling his finest performance yet.
She asked me to get her out.
And what did you say?
That it wasn't up to me.
Based on the best-selling novel by Claire Keegan.
Do you ever get worried?
People can make things difficult for you. Cillian Murphy's performance could move mountains, says The Telegraph.
What if it was one of ours?
They're not our girls. An extraordinary performance, says The Times.
Don't you ever question it?
5 stars, says the Irish Independent. Small things like these in cinemas November 1st.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. If you haven't started using the McElhinney's Layaway Club, it's not too late. Spread the cost of Christmas with designer gifts for the whole family. Available by phone or in-store at McElhinney's Ballybuffet.
Okie doke, some early spells of sunshine will be limited as more cloud builds later today. Southerly breezes will freshen a little this afternoon with highest temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees. Now, Enya Martin joins me on the show now. Hi, Enya.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. What about you?
I'm not too bad. I'm getting ready to go to Galway. I'm over there at the festival now for the next 2 days.
Looking forward to it or dreading it?
No, I'm looking forward to it. Galway, actually, I have a really bad relationship with Galway because my social media was hacked the last time I was there.
No.
My car broke down another time I was there, but I think we're starting to get on now a bit better.
Yeah, all right. Back to mend the bridges. Your latest book, One for the Girls, One for the Girlos, is out now. Talk to us about the book.
So The great thing about the book is you actually don't have to read it from start to finish. You could open it on any chapter because it's like a self-help book. It's a self-help book for you and your friends. So each chapter focuses on a different scenario. So, how to survive the girls' WhatsApp group, how to survive a girls' holiday, how to support your bestie through a breakup. Really, there's nothing in that book I haven't thought of when it comes to female friendships. So obviously I'm a comic, so a lot of it is coming from a funny place, but I can't confirm whether some of them some of the stories aren't or are based on a true story.
Well, see, that's the problem. If I was one of your mates now, I'm leafing through here and I'm going, what am I, Emma? Am I Emma? I'm not Emma.
Yeah, but you know what? The feedback I've been getting from the book is people are like, "That's my friend," or "That's me," or maybe some of my friends are under pseudonames. But the best thing to do, Greg, is not to ask them for permission because otherwise you won't have any material.
If you watch a show like I think it's Bad Sisters, for an example, a lot of people enjoy that, especially girls with sisters. Because they almost say, right, well, that's Karen, and that's Mary, and that's Jane, right? They recognise their sisters in that. Is there quite a bit of that in this book that if you have a friends group, you can almost identify which one is the various characters in your book, and that's where you get the laugh, isn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of content I make online, a lot of videos that I started making when I established my page were videos based on groups of women. That friend who's always tight with their money, that friend who is a class waffler, like
friend's a bit dipsy. This one's a bit dipsy, wondering what the sixth one is.
Yeah, no, the rich friend growing up, because there's a chapter on how did I end up friends with these people, and they're all the friends that you had to go through to develop your core group. So again, like the compulsive liar, or the friend who was always grounded, or the rich friend, and we all had them. And the thing is, when you're getting comments on your videos online like, "Oh, that's my friend," or "That's me," it's relatable, and you're not the only one going through it.
And of course, you've been able to draw on your own experience, but also your sort of your comedic skills as well. So who are you hoping picks up this book? Because I mean, listen, it's one for the girlos, right? But I can imagine there's lots of fellas will get a bit of crack out of this. But certainly, if you're struggling to get something for another half, we are heading towards Christmas here, and you're going, well, what could I get them? They would consider a nice little bit of thought in a book like this, I think.
Oh, it's a proper like coffee table book, and again, it's a book you can pick up and you don't have to read from start to finish, But I definitely think it's a good Chris Kindle idea, and there's actually a chapter in that, surviving the work Christmas party with your work friends. So it's an ideal Christmas gift, especially if you're a fella and you're looking for a little stocking filler. Or look, the lads might enjoy reading it too, and they might learn a lot about the female species.
And is there anything useful in here for girls, or is it fun?
Oh, definitely. Well, to be honest, you're gonna get crack out of it. You're gonna giggle at it more so. Like, I think every girl's gonna experience every scenario in that book, either past, present, or future. There's nothing in it that they probably haven't been through yet. But I think it's more of like from a comedy standpoint, but relatable. It is still a survival guide, and it's to ensure that you're not the only girl going through it.
Yeah, I think. Well, my favourite type of comedy is the sort of where you can relate to what the comedian's talking about, or it's observational. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of your stuff, isn't it? Ask Your Ma is your latest show. I think that's the one you probably taken to Galway. Is it? It's reflecting on your life experiences as well, so it feels real.
Yeah. So the Ask Your Ma one was the show that I done up until last Christmas.
Right, you've changed. Okay.
Is it just me now? Is the new one, and it's basically touching on, is it just me who goes through these things? And it's a rhetorical question because it's not just me. And again, like you said, it's relatable comedy, so a lot of the material is relatable. Relationships, holidays, friends, the works.
All right, brilliant stuff. The book's out now. It's called One for the Girlos. Enjoy Galway. Hopefully, nothing happens. 2 words, get a service and two-factor login would be my suggestion.
Oh, definitely two-factor authentication. Yeah.
All right, take care of yourself. Thanks very much, Anya Martin there, who is an influencer, but also is a very well-liked sellout comic there. One for the girlos. It's a bit of fun, actually. I was flicking through it as I was leading up to that interview, and it's kind of observational and fun, and uses real language. And I would say, looking through it, you will either pick yourself out in it in certain segments, or you'll definitely see your mates. It's a bit of fun. How did I become friends with these people is one of the questions answered. Supporting your bestie through a breakup. Work friends are in a league of their own. Navigating the female WhatsApp group. I wonder what's the difference between a female WhatsApp group and a male WhatsApp group. When the girls' holiday makes it out of the group chat. I like that one. Navigating the girls' night out. Surviving the hen party. And when your best friend becomes a mother for the first time. So there's comedy in there, but there's an element of sort of, real life experiences and stuff as well. Always a pleasure to chat to Anya.
The 9 till noon show, sponsored by Sony Centre Letterkenny. Discover the best in tech, TVs, soundbars, noise-cancelling headphones, mirrorless cameras and more. Best deals guaranteed. Shop in-store or at sonycentre.ie.
Do you own an XL Bully? If so, it's important to know that ownership laws are changing. From October the 1st, it's illegal to import, breed, sell or rehome an XL Bully. If you own one, you can apply for a certificate of exemption from your local authority between October the 1st, 2024 and February the 1st, 2025, which allows you to keep your dog until the end of its natural life. Find out more at gov.ie/XL Bully. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Hello, it's Breaching here from McDade's Bathroom Plumbing Tiles in Buncrana. We're thrilled to be celebrating 50 years of quality and service. Come join us on October 25th from 11 to 4:30 for a day of celebration. We're marking 5 decades of serving our amazing community. Everyone is welcome, whether you've been with us for years or it's your first time visiting. There'll be live broadcasts with Highland Radio, loads of prizes to be won, refreshments and a trip down memory lane as we look back at our journey. Remember, at McDade's, we're celebrating 50 years where quality and service always count.
Do you need a little extra help staying in your home? At Bluebird Care, we offer a wide variety of QMark-approved personalised home care services across Donegal. And our fully trained and committed staff will always meet your care needs with kindness, compassion and dignity. To get your personal home care assessment plan, visit bluebirdcare.ie or call our care team today on 07491 29562 and bring care home.
Tesco Club Card gives you the power to more. Cozy up at home with our finest meal deal. A main, 2 sides and a sauce for only €15. Like Tesco finest Irish corn-fed whole chicken 1.2 kg, finest rainbow root vegetables and finest potato gratin. Then cover it all with a pour of finest poultry gravy. Get more from your shop with your Tesco Club Card or app. Shop in-store or online. Tesco. Every little helps. Subject to availability. Prices vary in express stores.
From the morning routines to cosy family moments, Grant has been bringing comfort to homes for over 45 years. With our biofuel-compatible condensing boilers, heat pumps and underfloor heating, you can trust Grant to heat your home now and into the future. Think heating, think Grant. Visit grant.ie.
Get ready for an unforgettable night with the Whistling Donkeys live at the Pulse venue Letterkenny this Saturday, 26th of October. Doors open at 11 and it's pay at the door. Don't miss an incredible night at Pulse venue this Saturday with the Whistling Donkeys.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
Okay, it is 11 o'clock, time for a news update, and we welcome back into studio Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. A Midlands Northwest MEP has urged the European Parliament to prioritise the safety of Irish peacekeepers serving in Lebanon. MEP Kieran Mullally, speaking in Strasbourg yesterday, highlighted the urgent need for international intervention in the Middle East. Over 370 Irish soldiers from the 124th Infantry Battalion are currently deployed in the UNIFIL forces in Lebanon, including troops from Donegal. MEP Mullally revealed that he'd spoken with the father of one soldier who described his son's experience of being confined to a bunker for more than 40 hours. 2 people were injured in a fire last night in Letterkenny. It's understood the blaze broke out at a house in Ballymacool at around 10 o'clock last night. The victims were treated by ambulance personnel at the scene for non-life-threatening injuries. The state will, in the future, have to make a state apology to children who are currently in direct provision. Donegal-based Senator Eileen Flynn told the Shannon this morning that despite a promise to introduce an additional monthly international protection child payment, it has not yet been done. The front of a business in Derry has been damaged following a road traffic collision. Shortly after 5 o'clock yesterday evening, PSNI received a report of a single vehicle collision in the area of St Bridget's Avenue. They say no injuries were reported. However, the front of the building and its shutters sustained damage. Business Minister Peter Burke said that businesses can claim rate supports from the government from this week, even if they're in arrears. On this morning's 9 till Noon show, Minister Burke accepted that there is concern, particularly in the hospitality sector, as pressures on businesses mount at the moment. And finally, 2 people have died after a migrant boat sank trying to cross the English Channel. French authorities say 46 others have been rescued off Sangat, close to Calais. They fell into the water shortly after 8 a.m. Searches are continuing for any other passengers. That's all for now from Highland Radio News. We'll be back again at 12 noon.
Thanks very much, Donna Marie.
Get into the Halloween spirit with spooktacular Aldi value. Heading your way at Halloweeny prices. Halloween sweets including dolly mixtures from 65 cents each. Bon appetit. Traditional barmbrack with ring only 99 cents each. And unbeatable value on Guinness 8 500ml can pack just 13.26. They'll disappear in no time. Ghoul all Aldi. While stocks last, get the facts pre Drinkaware. Visit drinkaware.ie. Deposit return scheme may apply.
Business owner, I presume, said, Greg, searched on Google for a link to apply for the Power Up grant. Can't find one. Can you share it on the radio or on the website, please? We will indeed. The only issue there is that it's not live yet. It's being launched tomorrow, and we'll post the link when it is live, and I'll read it out if I get it whilst I'm on air. Okay, let's go to our regular feature now. It's called Wellness Wednesday, and we're talking now to Tom McGill, who's a family support worker with Alcohol Forum Ireland. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning, Greg, and thank you very much for having me on.
No, it's good to speak to you. And we're really going to focus this conversation on Impact, which is Moving Parents and Children Together programme. What's this about and what's its advantage? Well, we'll start with what it's about.
So the programme's about supporting young people. It's supporting young people to have a voice within a household that has addiction within the household. It's about hitting harm. Giving the young person a platform to be able to grow, to be able to grow within the household, moving the parent and child together, for the parents to be able to see the effect on the young person that their addiction is having within the household.
All right, now obviously it would be the case most often that this does impact on the young person in the house, and they may not understand exactly why it is. How do we know through our research and the evidence that it is beneficial to sort of start talking to the young person, about what addiction is, how it might impact them and how they might cope with it? Where's the advantage there?
I mean, the advantage is it's opening a line of communication within the household. I mean, as we know that when there's addiction in the household, that the young people within that household and the parents within that household do not communicate with each other. The young person doesn't want to cause any more drama within the household, so they'll revert. They'll go into their rooms or go to their friends or not come into the house at all or whatever. It is a fact-based programme, so we know the programme works. We know from all the feedback we get from the families and everything else that the programme does work for the young people and the family unit. So the family unit is a very successful thing. So we do it as a family-based support. So we support the full family, and the person in active addiction can still take part in the programme.
Say that one more time, the last bit.
So the person in active addiction, so when we're dealing with a family and the person is in active addiction and they're not in that stage to be in the recovery at this moment, we will still have them taking part in the programme. And the only stipulation we would have with that is they do not have any alcohol or use any substances in the day of the programme. So that's a barrier. That's a barrier we're trying to take away. A lot of other programmes that's running, parents need to be in recovery. So we hope through all the programme, through what the programme delivers and everything else, that the parent then, or the parent, guardian, whoever, gets that insight that where recovery can benefit them within a family unit.
So by having them involved in the process earlier, in a controlled situation, it can, maybe they see the wood for the trees, and it can be a motivating factor in trying to address their addiction. That makes sense. Tom, what's the pathway to being on this program? Right. So say, for instance, then there's a we'll just use a dad for an example, right? It could be a mom. We'll just use a dad because then it saves having to try and use non-judgmental or non-specific words. So say there's a dad, for an example, and they are an addict but not yet in recovery. How does a family then find themselves referred to or involved in the Impact program?
So there is a few ways that they can be referred into the programme. So they can be referred through an agency, they can be referred through the doctor or anything else. But we try and take as many barriers away as possible, so we will deal with self-referrals. So if any family member out there who is thinking that their family could benefit from this programme, they could phone myself.
Right. So if I'm the other half, then my partner has an addiction, and I'm hoping they'll seek help, but they're not at this point. And we can talk about when they are seeking help as well. And I've got, say, 2 kids living in the house. I can contact Alcohol Forum Ireland. And you know, especially if the kids are struggling with, or what have you, and I think in that environment it would be hard to fully insulate them. At that point, then you can work with me and the 2 children and the partner, if they're willing to talk about coping mechanisms, to understand addiction, and feel supported.
Yes, very much so. I mean, within the programme, it's the elephant in the room, and a lot of families who are going through this do not want to speak about addiction. Mm-hmm. It's a shame and stigma. It's a shame and stigma about having addiction within the house, and the young people will take that to school, and they don't want to talk about their parents. They don't want to talk. They'll not have their friends back to the house or anything else. Mm-hmm. So we will address addiction. I mean, that is the main part of the Impact programme, addressing addiction within the household. So that's the elephant in the room, and the first couple of sessions is all about addiction and all about how it's affecting the young people, how it's affecting the household, how it's affecting the family unit.
Now, the children may not be very badly affected by it, say hypothetically, Tom, but you might have a parent who is concerned that if they bring people into the home, that it could be a pathway for TUSLA to be involved or the children to be taken from them. I hope you understand where that question is coming from, in that, it's difficult 100%. To open your doors and to bring people into that environment. And whilst they might be confident that their children are being protected as best they can, they're afraid then potentially that once family support workers come into that house, that it opens up a whole pathway where they could actually, in trying to support and help their children, find themselves being parted from their children. How do you deal with that? What do you say to that?
I mean, what we would say the first hand is that TUSLA is not there as a punishment. TUSLA is there to help and support family members. And TUSLA is a great support of the Impact programme, 100% they support the Impact programme. And they know the benefits of families coming into the Impact programme. TUSLA, we work closely with TUSLA. If a family comes in and they're not a part of TUSLA, and we don't need them to be a part of, they don't tell us about TUSLA. Mm-hmm. Sorry. If they do not need to be a part of TUSLA, I mean, if it's a low-level intervention, TUSLA are more than happy for us to take the lead in that.
Yeah.
But if something comes up within the family and something comes up, a duty of care, if a child comes in and a child says that there is something happening within that household, we are duty bound.
Yeah, and that's the right thing to do. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Yeah, exactly. But it'll only be if there are those types of suspicions. So in other words, I just want to make sure that everyone who perhaps could avail of this doesn't feel there's barriers to them doing so.
I mean, we run a very open and honest programme, and we will be open and honest with the families at the very onset of them coming into us.
Right, okay. And if people want to learn more about this, you say there's already families, I'm sure, being referred as we speak, but you talked of self-referral, Tom, or even just to maybe explore the possibilities a bit more, because there are aggravating factors here? Say, for instance, if the person with an addiction is resistant to this, or that maybe their partner feels that this could trigger some sort of behaviour from them, or what have you. You know what I mean? When we're talking about the areas of addiction, it can be really quite complicated. So important to talk it through with the likes of yourselves in advance.
Very much. I mean, Greg, what we are saying is we would love the two parents to attend. If one of them or both of them is in active addiction, we would still love them to attend. But if they do not feel that they're ready to attend and they're in agreement, I mean, GDPR needs to come into this, and so the parents need to agree for the children to take part. It could be an older sibling, as long as the older sibling is over 18.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a grandparent that brings it. It could be, we just need a consistent person to bring the young people to the programme.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't need to be the parent. It doesn't need to be the parents that bring the young people to the programme. As long as we've got a consistent adult bringing a child to the programme, and that child will get something from the programme.
Okay. Right, great stuff, Tom. Listen, thank you very much for that. I hope I haven't I'm trying to encourage people and sort of break down any barriers people might have in seeking this type of support. And I appreciate, Tom, you helping me doing so. How did they get in contact? Did you mention that? Sorry.
So they can phone me directly and they can speak to me.
Right, we'll retain your number here. Tom, people aren't going to be there with a pen. So if you want to get more information, we've got Tom's number here. He's given us permission to share. We'll double check that with you, Tom, off air. But for now, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care of yourself, Tom. Keep up the good work. Tom McGill, family support worker with Alcohol Forum Ireland. An emailer says, is it true the government is taking the word maternity out of the HSE? Maternal is mother. Mother have babies, so why would they do that? It's undermining mothers. I've not heard anything of that. If you look at the HSE website, as it relates to maternity care services, it reads, every woman who is pregnant and ordinarily resident in Ireland is entitled to maternity care, and on it goes. So it's very clear that those giving birth to children at the moment anyway, from the HSE's perspective, is woman. I don't see actually any other inclusive language in that regard. I've heard no plans, but it's very easy to say there are plans because it kind of is a bit fearful and people get all, yourself. As it relates to bowel screening, a caller says, my story is exactly the same. No symptoms, no blood, operation in Galway through bowel screen by a fantastic surgeon called Dr. Joyce. Thank God, doing fine. I'm so pleased. So that's just to emphasise that. That's two listeners. Now, we've lots and lots of listeners, okay? But that's still a decent representation of the general population. We have two listeners. Both of them received the bowel screening kits through the post from the HSE once they hit the age of 59. Both had no symptoms of bowel cancer. Both returned their stool sample, and then both were contacted to say that we've found something here. And both, hopefully, both... well, I know both are doing well now, and both had bowel cancer picked up early. So really important you return those kits. Really important that you register for the bowel screening programme if you're not already on it. Did the lady seeking information on a Logue family member try in the Glenfin areas where there are many Logues? I suspect part of our conversation was to sort of reach those people because it can be hard otherwise. Hi, Greg. I listened to the headline story regarding Barbie Kardashian, who is a biological male imprisoned in the women's prison in Limerick, having violently sexually assaulted two women in Dublin. As the report states, he, as they describe him, though legally he is a she, he is further charged with threatening to rape and assault a female prison guard. It should be noted that Kardashian, a Brazilian national with a history of violence against women in Brazil, has not transitioned. He still has male genitalia, and getting shot to that is not a condition of transitioning in any case. The courts here placed him in the women's prison as he identifies as a woman. So essentially, a biological male with male genitalia who has a history of sexual violence against women and has been convicted of violent assaulting women in Ireland has been sent to a women's prison where he poses a significant threat to a female, literally captive audience. Simply because he changed his name, wears makeup and skirts, and calls himself a woman. His rights to identify as a woman supersede the human health and safety rights of biological women. And that is the big conversation at the moment. So the rights to be inclusive and to recognise someone's identity, it's infringing on other people's rights. And it's often women that actually bear the brunt of that. He was born, or she was born, Gabrielle Alexandro Gentile, 22, from Trim in County Meath. So he's got a gender recognition certificate. So that actually just specifies he's female. So you don't really have to transition or what have you. I'm not sure what the criteria for receiving a gender recognition certificate is. But anyway, the government, the state gave him one, which described they as female. And then he changed his name from by deed poll from Gabrielle Gentile to Barbie Kardashian. So that's that full story. It's well known out there. I must actually check what the criteria is for gender recognition cert. I might do that during the next ad break. Right. Hi, Greg. I feel sorry for Mary Lou as she's trying to clean up a mess made by men in the party. Did you notice how little United Ireland is mentioned nowadays by Sinn Féin? Every TD says they'd rather be talking about housing and health, but they don't add United Ireland. I thought that was their main aim. Well, they had a series of meetings. Sinn Féin last year had a series of meetings with that aim where people from sort of all backgrounds, whether, religious or what have you, were invited to attend, and it is in their manifesto and what have you. So I presume they'd argue that's that. That being said, at the end of the day, in the run-up to election, what's going to get people out to vote? Is it the conversation about immigration? Yes. Is it the conversation about housing? Yes. Is it the conversation about health? Yes. Is it the conversation about a united Ireland? People care about it, of course. Will that get people out to vote? Because every party says their aim is for a united Ireland. I would say not. So if I was a party strategist, I would say, look, talk about the things that are going to get people out to vote. Small businesses. I know small businesses struggling to pay electricity bills of €1,000 a month. At the same time, we're not allowed to buy cheap energy from Russia, with the West spending billions and billions in continuing and promoting this proxy war. Yeah, that's definitely a point of view. But that being said, why is pretty much everywhere else in Europe paying less for electricity? I must do a comparison of electricity prices, because if that were the case, and what you're saying was fully accurate, all of Europe would be paying massive electricity bills, but that's not the case. We're paying one of the highest rates in the EU, and not only that, we're actually paying... Sometimes if you say something that loud, but sorry for sniggering. We're also paying... part of our electricity bill is to pay for the green network and to subsidise wind energy, which is a funny old situation.
The 9 till noon show with Sony Centre Letterkenny, Ireland's only Sony store, offering the best deals guaranteed. TVs, soundbars, headphones, cameras, party speakers and much more. Shop in-store or online at sonycentre.ie.
Brian McCormick Sports and Leisure, supporting you with the right footwear. Suffering from joint pain, shin splints or foot injuries, we can help you with our range of footwear and experience. We select the best options from all the major brands: Brooks, Asics, New Balance, Hoka and On Footwear. Step into our safe size experience. We will update your gait analysis, measure your feet and recommend what will support your body and joints. Brian McCormick Sports and Leisure, Main Street, Letterkenny. Christmas Club now open.
At Volkswagen, we've really got to know the people of Ireland. 75 years of understanding what you love, how you live, who you are, and the life you lead. So we've brought you one much-loved car after another. From the original Beetle, the iconic Golf, to today's family-friendly Tiguan and our all-electric ID range. Knowing that whatever you choose, it's you who makes it your Volkswagen. Celebrating 75 years in Ireland. Order your new Volkswagen today.
Easy Living Furniture's massive Oktoberfest sale has been extended but must end this Sunday. Everything's reduced, including sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses and accessories. Visit us at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry, or online at easylivingfurniture.co.uk.
Easy Living Furniture. Luxury furnishings, affordable luxury.
Inside every bag of Gyprock Skim Coat, you would normally expect to find the finest quality Irish-made finished plaster. But for a limited time only, you could also discover a golden trowel worth €10,000 along with other cash prizes. Wouldn't that be grand? So grab a bag of Gyprock Skim Coat today, find the trowel and answer a question. Terms and conditions apply. Gyprock Skim Coat. We value our plasterers. For more information, visit www.gyprock.ie.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
The Lotto jackpot is an estimated €4 million.
Play responsibly, in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie.
The National Lottery. It could be you.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
It's 11:20. So, sorry, I was curious as to how you apply for a gender recognition cert. So I was of the view that maybe you had to, I don't know, demonstrate how you live your life or what have you, but you don't really. You just go to the website and download a form which is recognised by the Gender Recognition Act 2015. And I went through the form and it really just says that all you have to be to qualify is registered in the Register of Births, registered in the Adoptive Children's Register, registered in the Register of Inter-Country Adoptions, recorded in Foreign Births Entry Book or their Foreign Birth Register, and you simply declare your gender. And you have to get a peace commissioner, a solicitor, commissioner of oaths to confirm your new gender. Then you attach your birth cert, proof of residency. If you have had your preferred gender recognised in another jurisdiction and wish to have that recognition validated here, a copy of the relevant decision, order or certificate needs to be included. Then you send that off and that's it. You are issued then, once it's looked, it's issued with a gender recognition certificate. And at that point, if you identify as male, your sex is changed to male. If you identify as gender, your official gender is to female, it's changed to female. So there you go, that's it. It's not actually complicated. Matt Carthy is the man to lead Sinn Féin into the general election, believes a listener. And steady a leaking ship. Time to cast Mary Lou McDonald adrift before the boat sinks, they say. What's going on with the toilets in the retail park in Letterkenny? Will they be built soon? It's terrible if you're out with grandchildren or anything like that. I don't know. I've been talking about them for ages. I've had numerous interviews from recent years saying they're on the way soon. Yes, it's if you've got grandchildren, but also many people need access to a bathroom at short notice, and many people get caught out. We spoke to a lady who was caught out in that area and was rushing to another area for the toilets, fell and badly injured themselves. This stuff happens all the time. The road up at Windy Hall in Letterkenny is treacherous at the moment. Cars are speeding. There is no need, believes a listener. A caller says it's only dark for 8 weeks out of the 52, so nothing to change there. Okay, that's in relation to whether the clock should go forward or if they should go back. My husband was picked up in bowel screening. He sent it away and discovered he had cancer, and Dr. Joyce operated on him 8 years later, and he's doing well and lived to tell the tale. It's so important to get checked. So that's 3 listeners and counting. 3 listeners that did the bowel screening. They had no symptoms as such. It was picked up as cancer, and all 3 doing well. So important. I mentioned that. Right, okay. A quick birthday request before we move on. Stephen Dooley from Letterkenny, congratulations on your professorship in the Department of Physics in Trinity College, Dublin. All your friends in Letterkenny. Not so bad, not so bad. Well done to you.
Business Matters on Highland Radio is brought to you by Local Enterprise Office, Donegal. If you have an idea to start or grow your business within Donegal, contact the Local Enterprise Office to find out more about the supports available for businesses. See localenterprise.ie/Donegal.
Okay, good to have Leo on board. Chris Ashmore's in studio. Good morning, Chris. How are you getting on?
Good morning, Greg.
How are you keeping?
Good.
All right, okay. Right, Baby Bank Charity.
Yes. We're going to that straight away?
I don't know. It's written on the top of my sheet.
Yeah, I think.
Shall we skip that?
We'll come back to
right,
that.
Let's talk about Stratus Consulting then.
Yeah. Now, this is a report out. It's called Time for a Reset and Return to More Normal Pay Adjustments in 2025 in light of falling inflation. So what this is all about, wages went up quite a bit the last few years, and I heard you speaking earlier about the costs for businesses and the national minimum wage is going up. And there is speculation it could go up again because they're talking about this, the national living wage. And the thing is, there could be another increase. The target is to get your national living wages based on 60% of the median wages Now, some employer groups are very concerned because the national minimum wage has gone up considerably in the last couple of years. Inflation has slowed to 2%. It's going to drop under 2%. And suddenly these wages are going up way ahead of inflation.
But again, though, lots
So
of
this
people,
big debate.
lots of the businesses that are having to deal with that are businesses in Donegal, retail, hospitality, pubs,
exactly.
You know, whereby it's not the multinationals and a lot of other companies, because they're already paying in excess of the minimum wage, or even indeed the living wage.
Indeed, and they're saying now the actual minimum wage has gone up. The increases over the last 2 years have been cumulatively 19%. So we're going to hear a lot more about this. Don't be surprised if the national living wage gets kicked down.
And I kind of got a sense from that from Mr. Bartlett earlier on. Right, Donegal business women encouraging female entrepreneurs.
Now, there's an award-winning programme called Going for Growth. It's supported by Enterprise Ireland and KPMG, and it is very much directed towards female business owners who want to expand their businesses. The deadline is November the 15th. A lot of people in Donegal have already availed of it. There's 60 places available. It's a 6-month cycle, and the feedback from it in previous years has been very positive. And among the past participants from Donegal include Larissa Feeney of Kinore, who's also president of the Donegal Women in Business Network. And so the details, goingforgrowth.com if you're interested.
Do you remember Going for Gold?
Henry Kelly, wasn't that? Yeah.
And Matthew
Kelly as well.
Henry Kelly was the blonde Irish guy, was he? Henry, that was Henry. And Matthew. And there was a lady. Who was the woman? I am going so far back there. Like, I am accessing a part of my brain I have not accessed for 40 years.
Gosh.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it, the brain? Anyway, okay, go. I could sing you the theme tune, but I won't. Right, back to business news. Recognition for 110 Irish food and drink companies.
Yeah, now this is it's through Board BIA. It's the Origin Green Gold membership. Essentially, this is rewarding companies that are showing how they are getting their sustainability targets, reducing emissions, waste, etc. The good news is 8 Donegal companies now added on the list. Some of them have been there before, including Gallagher's Bakery, Atlanta Fish, Errigal Bay, Filligan's, Foyle Food Group, Kinniger Brewing, Mallow Mio, and Synergy Kombucha. Quite a few of those have actually been on that list previously, but well done indeed to them. And speaking of awards, Greg, Inishowen Co-op has been awarded the Excellence in Community Outreach accolade at the 2024 Octabuild Awards, which were held in the Mansion House in Dublin. And Ballyliffin Lodge and Spa has been selected as a finalist in the small and medium business category for the 2024 Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland Energy Awards. We're beginning to get into awards season as such.
Yeah, all right, brilliant stuff, excellent. Looking forward to some award ceremonies coming up. But just before I go on, it was Henry Kelly presented Going for Gold. Matthew Kelly wasn't on that. He was another presenter. Yeah. He did Stars in Their Eyes and a few other shows. Right, okay, so John Suchet and Dean Wilson, he was a stand-in, were other presenters on Going for Gold. Just by the by, right?
Thank you.
Okay, now you are going to speak about the baby bank that I mentioned right at the top of this.
Yes. Now, this is Ireland's first ever registered charity. It's the first ever national baby bank. It's called Community Collect. And essentially it provides essential baby items to families who are struggling to afford them. They bring in second-hand materials and all sorts of donations. They have a number of hubs around the country, and then they give them out to those who are in need. They've also done a partnership with IKEA. They're getting a euro from every sale of certain products towards Community Collect. And it was founded by, and the CEO is Elaine Noonan, a native of Donegal. She's living in Dublin now and doing a lot of good work. And this week's Business Matter, she is the main focus of attention.
All right, let's listen to Elaine now then.
Community Connect is Ireland's first national baby bank. And some of your listeners may not know what a baby bank is, but it's a concept that's well established in a number of other countries, such as across the pond in the UK. where there would be baby banks in really every large town and lots across cities such as London. And essentially what we do is we take baby items that people are finished with, like things like buggies, cots, high chairs, bouncer seats, clothing, all of those kind of things. And we then can distribute them to families who are really struggling to make ends meet and who are in need of those items for their new babies. And alongside those then we would do lovely gift packs that we give out to the pregnant mums and the families with small babies that we support as well, with essential items like hygiene things like nappies and wipes and baby wash. We do up hospital bags for pregnant mothers who are struggling to get the essentials they need.
All right, you can see the benefit of this collaboration, taking the financial strain off families struggling to provide the essential and expensive items for babies. Dublin, Cork, Galway, Kilkenny and Athlone, that's where the hubs are. Are these services accessible for our listeners, Chris?
Well, at the moment, those are the only hubs. She is hoping to branch into the Northwest, and as it becomes a nationwide movement. And, one of the stats that she mentions during the programme, now, we can play around with figures, but she has figures that are saying that the average cost of having a baby and providing for it comes to about €13,000 in year one. Now, that's if you add up everything.
If it's your first child, potentially, yeah okay.
Because you're getting your first pram and there's all the associated
I wonder,
things.
are they lost earnings included in that? Anyway, whatever it is.
It's expensive.
13k, it's a lot of money. Yeah. Right, okay, so that was Elaine Noonan there, and you can hear that full interview with Elaine on the Business Matters podcast right now. It's on our website highlandradio.com, and it's broadcast after the 6 o'clock news on Sunday. Chris?
That's right, and if you want to contact me, businessmatters@highlandradio.com is the email address.
Okay, now we were talking just before I came to you, a caller frustrated at the seemingly slow progress of just getting bogs toilets down into the retail park of Letterkenny. It's hard to believe in this day and age that we're still talking about public facilities for people just for convenience, but also for the many, many people who need a toilet and they don't get as much notice as other people. They could be pregnant. There's loads of other reasons as to why. And I think often, Chris, the reason we don't do stuff in this country often is because maintenance. So bins. We're taking bins out because the bins get full. Someone has to clean it up. Because we're not doing proper maintenance, we take the bin out. That's what we do. We don't provide public toilets or amenities because, well, who's going to clean them? And that's the problem. And they get cleaned twice a week, and there's toilet roll on the minute they're cleaned. There's toilet roll shoved down the toilet and poo and all stuff everywhere, and they become toxic. You were out foreign recently. You paid to go to the toilet, right?
I paid. Spending a penny cost me 90 cents.
Yes.
Now, you could scan it or you could put the coins in.
So you could tap or use coins.
Yes.
What were the toilets like?
The toilets were good. They were clean. They were maintained. It was in a very busy central station. There was a constant flow of people there, but there was several members of staff. They're constantly being cleaned, so one suspects cutting down considerably on antisocial behaviour. You feel safer because there's other people around there, and they're clean, Greg, and they're being replenished with supplies when they run out. Yes, a lot of people would begrudge paying money, but given the option, and it's there, and it's open. Now, I don't
90 cents seems a lot. And also, too, obviously, that's already in a busy area where there's a staff infrastructure there, right? Yeah. I wonder, would the paid system be a solution to getting toilets in more areas? How much would people be prepared? 50 cent.
50 cent might be reasonable.
50 cent to use a bathroom.
Yeah.
If it's guaranteed to have toilet paper and it's to be clean and you feel safe. Good lighting.
I think a lot of people would say, well, if you want to go, 50 cent is a small price to pay.
But would it pay? I wonder, would it contribute enough to the upkeep?
Yeah, it's going to have to be really to pay for itself, and using that sort of model, it's going to be in busy urban areas.
Yeah,
You're not going to get
I'm not saying that that's what's being proposed for Letterkenny, but at this stage, we need toilets. So it's whatever solution can be found to actually make them viable.
Yeah, I actually think this is a broader issue in this country. A lot of the public toilets in Ireland are not great at all compared with when you go abroad.
There's toilets in certain towns, and I won't name them, but I would have to just be on the brink before I'd go into them. Yeah. Like I'd have to be, would have to be just the only other option.
Yeah.
Because they're so stinky and dark, and they just feel like stuff's going on in them that they shouldn't.
It's surprising there's never been back to your Green Origin Awards, whatever, like a seal of approval, maybe through the AA or somebody, that you've a lot of bars and cafes and petrol stations and the quality of the toilets varies hugely.
Yeah,
should we have a national sort of approval and you know what you're getting sort of thing then?
I judge your premises often on the toilets.
Yeah.
If they're good, clean toilets.
And I'm sure you've been down the country and you've gone into a petrol station, gone to the toilet, and if it's not good, you're not stopping there the next time you're travelling down.
It's old cubicle at the back, and at my age, I'm not good at hovering. My thighs just can't take it, Chris. Right, okay. Interesting. I was just interested to throw it out to the listeners. Would you be prepared to pay 50 cent to access clean, stocked toilets that you felt safe and secure in? Or do you believe that the state should be providing them free of charge? Who's to say? Separate to all of that, you can go onto our website right now, just to recap, and listen to the Business Matters podcast, and you can listen to it live on the radio then, albeit pre-recorded after 6 o'clock on Sunday. Chris, as always, thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
Yes, indeed.
All right, take care of yourself. Thanks so very much indeed.
The 9 till noon show, brought to you by Sony Centre Letterkenny. From party speakers to TVs, cameras and camcorders, find it all at Ireland's only Sony store. Free deliveries on orders over €100. Visit sonycentre.ie today.
Get the family around for Aldi offers like, you guessed it, delicious cooking bag whole Irish chicken was $6.19, now $5.69 for the roast with the most. Oh, and here we go. Specially selected 32-day matured Irish Angus strip loin steaks was $9.99, now $8.99. However you like your steak, these are rare prices. Make every day delicious with unmissable Board Bia quality assured Super 6 meat offers. Go all Aldi.
New this week in Home Store and More. All doormats are all half price. That's right, half price. But better hurry, because when all the half price doormats are gone, they're gone. Also, all baking trays and tins and all living room throws are still all half price. But when all the half price baking trays and tins and all the half price living room throws are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Luxury is not merely seen or heard or even touched. True luxury is experienced. It lies in the minute details that elevate the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's quiet spoken, but leaves a lasting impression. You know it when you feel it. Luxury begins with L. Lexus. Experience amazing. Discover the all-electrified range at Lexus Letterkenny.
Mary here from the cosmetic department at McGee's Chemist to let you know that Lancome have a great beauty gift available here this week. Buy 2 Lancome products, one to be skincare, and you will get a free 7-piece gift containing a 50ml cleansing milk, a choice of Absolute or Hydrocyn travel size creams, and more iconic Lancome products while stocks last. For any skincare advice, you can always talk to Gemma or myself here at McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny.
Join David James in the Jive Time Show this Thursday live from Easy Living Furniture at the Crescent Link Retail Park in Derry. We'll be there to find out more about their biggest sale of the year with up to 60% off absolutely everything in their Oktoberfest sale. We'll have guests, giveaways and more on the day, so join us live this Thursday from the Easy Living Furniture store at the Crescent Link Retail Park. This amazing Oktoberfest sale ends this Bank Holiday Monday or while stocks last.
All right, so I have to cast my mind back to late 2021 when there were plans for a nighttime economy initiative. Fast forward to 2024, and I believe it's the same scheme that's coming to fruition now. It's the nighttime economy programme. And Sophie Gallagher is the nighttime economy advisor with Donegal County Council and is with me now. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Greg. Thanks for having me.
So this is the same initiative that was talked about in 21 coming to fruition now.
It is indeed. It's funded by the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, Gaeltacht, Sport and Media. There are 9 pilot towns in the country, and Buncrana was the last one to start there in June.
All right, brilliant stuff. And what is the aim of it?
I suppose the aim is to develop the nighttime economy and build on what's existing at nighttime offerings after 6 o'clock, and maybe help fund and help support new ideas and new ways of experiencing our towns and cities at night.
Now, people would go directly maybe to pubs and restaurants, but it's about providing, is it not, a diverse range of activities that are often absent in towns in the evenings?
Yeah, I suppose restaurants and bars have very much been the backbone of the nighttime economy for a long time, and they still will be, but it'll be about increasing footfall to those cities and towns to ensure that everybody benefits from a more thriving nighttime economy, and it'll increase our ability to attract tourists and visitors and just improve our offerings overall to make sure we get people out and about and socialising, and I suppose improve everybody's well-being at the same time, get them socialising.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a whole host of events, but what is the time frame for this, right? So if this is a pilot programme, over what period of time are we talking in Buncrana?
I suppose I'm in post since June, so it's a 2-year pilot. So the programme will last for 2 years. So we're really in our infancy at the moment. However, we have a 2-week programme of events that began on the 18th of October that we invited businesses and organisations to apply for grants, helped managed by local events company MRK. We have allocated 28 grants to local businesses and organisations, and we've pulled that together in a programme of events.
Is MRK are they responsible for all of this underneath you? Is that it? They've been charged with organising this, have they?
Well, one of the things that has been highlighted through all the pilots is there's one advisor per pilot area, so it's very much a collaborative approach. This is funded through Donegal County Council, but we're going to need everybody on board. It's everybody's pilot, really. So MRK, or the delivery agent, working with myself, we're working together in collaboration with all the businesses and organisations, and we're creating, I think, bringing their event expertise on board. We're really creating a bit of a buzz about the town, and we're building on what's already happening and giving groups and organisations a chance to try something new.
Right, so how were these events identified? Was it, as you say, the likes of pubs and restaurants have been the backbone of the nighttime economy up until now. Did they sort of come to you with suggestions, or was it you and the likes of MRK Live that decided on events and approached venues, or how is that working?
I suppose from the very start we've had to highlight who the stakeholders are, who the businesses are, who the organisations are. Between myself and MRK, we've tried to visit as many businesses as possible, and we've created a database of email addresses. So we've promoted the grant scheme online and via email, and created an online document for groups to apply, and we were actually really pleased with the interest and the breadth of ideas. And if this is a sign of what's to come, I think there's plenty of ideas from people, businesses and organisations in Buncrana on things that they want to try and see if it'll work and stimulate the nighttime economy.
So I have a big list of stuff. Is this part of sort of an umbrella event, the Buncrana Halloween Carnival? Are the events that I'm looking at running, that have been running and run to the end of October, sort of under that umbrella? Or is this the just more general, Buncrana by Night programme?
So Buncrana by Night is what we're calling the Buncrana Nighttime Economy Initiative, and everything in the programme is funded by Donegal County Council through the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, Gaeltacht, Sport and Media. So everything in that programme, everybody, business and organisation applied for a grant.
Brilliant. So do you want to pick out some highlights? I mean, there's an awful lot there, but I mean, maybe just to emphasise the diverse sort of types of entertainment and activities that are coming up.
Yeah, well, I think a key part of developing the nighttime economy is that we've something for everybody. So For example, we're running some comedy nights in the Buncrana Cinema, which is a real asset to the town. So we had Diona Doherty on Monday night. Tonight we have Paddy McDonnell at 8 o'clock. We've got lantern making workshops with Avant Garden on Thursday the 24th of October. There's a Warhammer night for people who are into that niche on Thursday night as well. In the Lew's Bar we have a hypnotist. Obviously O'Flaherty's Bar have Keogh coming on Sunday night. So we've got a really good range of activities, and you know some bars have applied, and then we've got a show and darts tournament in the Youth and Community Centre on Tuesday 29th of October. So and another great event would be the Tea Time Trad sessions for teens on Wednesday the 30th in O'Flaherty's. So we have a real range of activities and initiatives. There's a wellness event in Swans Park as well called Rest, Reflect and Renew, and that's on Friday the 25th of October at 6:30, and that's hosted by My Psychology Ireland. So there's a mixture of wellness, niche things like the Warhammer event, there's Pilates, there's a dance event on the Kirskeen Lawn on Saturday at 6 o'clock. So we really believe that being inclusive and maintaining a diverse range of events will give something for everybody to enjoy.
All right, how do people get all the details? Because there's a lot there, and it's for different people, so they'll want to have a look through them. It's hard to pick it all up on the radio. They'll want to have a look through them and sort of pick out what might be good for them.
So it will be live on Go Visit Inishowen and Go Visit Donegal, and you can search for MRK on Facebook, and you'll find it there, and it'll be going out through all the Donegal County Council channels today. So there'll be plenty of ways to access information.
Excellent, and I think really this is a pilot program, and it works by being successful, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That's how it gets extended or prolonged or moved to other areas. So it's important that there's a good level of public engagement. With that in mind, and given the fact that there are grants available and this is being funded by the state, is there entry fees, or is it all free, or what's the story?
Some organisations are choosing to run free events, some are charging. We would like to see some of these ideas become self-sustainable in the future, so we encourage people to charge a small fee if it means that in the future they won't need to rely on funding and they'll be able to be a self-sustained standalone event. Yeah. So it's really give it a try your ideas, see if they work, and hopefully then we can help support you to stand on your own two feet.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks so much for your time. Really enjoyed that. Sophie Gallagher, who is the Nighttime Economy Advisor with Donegal County Council, 086 60 25,000.
The 9 till noon show with Sony Centre Letterkenny. Check out their great range of TVs, headphones, speakers and cameras. Best deals guaranteed. Shop now at sonycentre.ie. Free delivery over €100.
Make more meals for less with Dunnes Stores, where you'll save on the aisle with ingredients for a traditional full Irish. That's 8 pork sausages, just €1. A pack of unsmoked Irish rashers, €1.99. 6 fresh eggs, only €1.39. And your other breakfast favourites, all from the Dunnes Stores range. Plus, you can save at the till with a 5 off 25 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores. Always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next in-store grocery shop of €25 or more.
Bogamid Fuinnev na Heron. Trichand and Aline Rí Gás is nua Aimshras in Europe. A cor and Fuinnev atag tastal wet fall in new fud na tira. Agus anis tá Fuinnev na Heron á bhuga agwin valach nua. Ag tort Fuin Chinese in Vulnahe is Jack sa Feeblina. Gas Networks Ireland. Moving Ireland's energy.
Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at The Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system, and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
Calling all self-builders and rebuilders. Are you looking to build an A-rated energy-efficient home? Join Castle Forms for a free information day this Saturday at the Clanry Hotel, Letterkenny from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Discover their quick and cost-effective ICF walls and insulated foundation systems. Castle Forms Construction Systems, the future of tradition.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. If you haven't started using the McElhinney's Layaway Club, it's not too late. Spread the cost of Christmas with designer gifts for the whole family. Available by phone or in-store at McElhinney's Ballybuffet.
Right, let's look at that forecast. Some early spells of sunshine will be limited as more cloud builds later. Southerly breezes will freshen a little this afternoon. Highest temperatures 12 to 14 degrees. Now, a cloudy and rather mild evening. A few spots of mist and drizzle will develop later in the night, but most areas will remain dry. Lowest temperatures just 10 to 13 degrees. When I say just, I mean not lower. You know where I'm coming from. Very cloudy with outbreaks of light rain or drizzle from early on tomorrow. Rain will develop later in the morning and will become more widespread through the afternoon and evening. Temperatures tomorrow 12 or 16 degrees. So we were talking about the cost of spending a penny. Greg, I would pay 50 cent to use toilets, but only if it was cash. When I use my card, it's a 35-cent transaction, so it'll be 85 cent. I don't use the card. Why should I be feeding the banks 35 cent every transaction? Do people not realise how much they're being fleeced by the banks? That's why they want a cashless society. I don't know if it's a particular bank you're with. I don't pay 35. If it was, they were charging me 35 cent per transaction, I wouldn't be using my card. Or even, in fact, if they were charging me 35 cent per 50 transactions, I wouldn't. That's not how it works for me anyway. I don't know which bank you are with, but if I tap for 50 cent, it's 50 cent. So as I say, what bank are you with? Let me know. I'd be interested to know. Hi, Greg. Just a wee message to say we did have to pay to go to the loo at the Market Square, the toilets in Bundoran and Rathmullen, and it was never a problem. That's going back 60 years ago. Really? So you're paying to pee 60 years ago? Wow. There's a filling station and restaurant in Monaghan which is very busy. The restaurant's very good, but the outside toilets are awful. Taps not working sometimes, no dryer, no hot water. I often wonder why a successful business overlooks the importance of clean, operational toilets. I've stopped going there now. It's on my route to Dublin. The smelliest, if there's such a word, toilets I've ever encountered was in Bussairn's station in Monaghan Town. I think they're not as bad in recent years, though. Oh, God, we're not going to do a smelliest toilet feature. Please, should we? If it gets people texting, where's your smelliest toilet? 086 60 25,000. Or maybe if someone in your house and you're lucky to have two toilets, that you make sure they only use that one. I don't know. I'm a backstreet mechanic in the bog and I have a toilet for myself and customers. It's what a way to describe yourself. This is not, I haven't called the person. This is how they describe their business. I'm a backstreet mechanic in the bog. And I have a toilet for myself and customers. It's no palace, but the toilet is clean and fresh. I don't like hoovering. Sorry, I don't like hovering myself. I'm too old for that now. Brilliant stuff. You need to put that in a sign. I'm a backstreet bog in a backstreet mechanic in a bog. Hey, great to have you have us on in the background. Appreciate it. Morning, Greg. Just tuned in. Was in Rossnala a few weeks ago. I've never seen anything like it. It's disgusting. I know Rossnala has been talked about before. Such a shame because it's a beautiful beach. I think there are plans, though, for a development there that will include public toilets. It's terrible, particularly in the summer. And we get pictures in, which I'm not discouraging, but I got pictures of those toilets down there and they were horrendous. Greg, is it just me or am I missing something? Are the working class and middle class getting poorer, but the surplus taxes with the surplus taxes going elsewhere? With the cost of living, 3 people make choices to have meals out. One goes all the time, one goes occasionally, but less so now. One can't go at all. All 3 stealth taxes go to keeping businesses alive. But if they had the money in their pockets in the first instance, their colleagues would still have jobs in hospitality. Now it's too late for some businesses. That's coming in from Oisin there. Back to the toilets. You have to pay for the toilets in Eyre Square Centre for a long time, I think 50 cent. Are they clean? Are they worth it? Hotels in Dublin accused of gouging. Is not the government and the ESB doing the same with us in regards to electricity and fuel prices and getting away with it? Yeah, well, that's your view. Why are we paying the highest for fuel and some of the highest rates for the electricity? I don't know. Oh, God, here we go. You're right. I said going for gold. Greg, you're thinking of Game for a Laugh, which was Henry Kelly, Matthew Carey, Jeremy Beadle, Sarah Kennedy. Yes, I was confusing Game for a Laugh with Going for Gold. But Henry Kelly, was he in Going for Gold? I don't know. I'm all confused now. Who was in Going for Gold? Henry Kelly was in Going for Gold. Yeah, that's it, right? But Game for a Laugh had Henry and Matthew Kelly in it. Brilliant stuff. Thank you for that. Hi, I was wondering, could you do a segment on the amount of rubbish lying on the side of our roads? People just throwing rubbish out of their car windows, especially in today's day and age. I was out for a walk this morning and gathered a full bin liner in 20 minutes in the Castlefin area. It's disgusting. And I think often what happens as we head into the winter and the hedges are cut or the growth dies back, that it exposes the horrible dumping that we've seen all summer. Not that it doesn't go on during the winter, don't get me wrong. Why do people throw stuff out of the window of their car? What is the mentality? What is going through the head? We are seeing a reduction in cans and bottles because of the recycling scheme, whether people like it or not. It is reducing some litter, but obviously still some feel the need to just dump it out. Hi, could you read this out in your show, please? Congratulations to Lauron Hubble, Narossen, Dunlow Library on their 25th anniversary. Hope the celebrations go well tomorrow, Thursday. Call in and wish them well. They're having an open invitation celebration. Fiona will be delighted to see you. That comes in from Maggie. When we go to Dublin, there's a big supermarket in Ochnacloy and their toilets are immaculate. We make a point of stopping there. Thank you. I'm really put off by restaurants who do not look after their toilets. Me too. I kind of backed away from saying that because I didn't want to sound snobby. Dunfanaghy Tidy Towns keep the toilets tidy and recently done a great job refurbishing the toilets in the square. Fair play to them. They're busy, and why not if they look after their facilities like that? We're away now. We're back with you tomorrow on Thursday already. But stay safe and stay